Mook got the
What
keys,
up, bro? Salvation. Hey, you got many names. You think about salvation, get the dance. In my flesh vein, it's my heart not trouble, I will pain. We trust in Abba, he the one that kill your problems. We thanking Abba, now we know about that lava. These streets of gold, walking on that road, I can't sell my soul. Hell no, I'ma be the light everywhere I go. Ain't no vaccine up in the temple. The devil know that the most I dwelling in you. They tryna shoot you up, that should really offend you.
My cry for mercy as I call on you for help, as I lift up my hands towards your most holy place. I just wanna be worthy. I just wanna be
Shabbat Shalawam, Shabbat Shalawam. Let's give all praises be to the Father. Once again, Shabbat Shalawam, Shalom, peace and blessings. And we want to give all praises be to our Father, YAHAWAH, the Ancient of Days, the Giver of Life, the Taker of Life, our Abba, and His only begotten Son, Hamashiach Yahawashi, the Anointed One, the one who shed His blood for us, walked the earth, hung on the tree. We say the water, Hamashiach Yahawashi. Peace and blessings, shalom, shalawam to all of the Ahchyam, the Ahchwathyam, the brothers and sisters that are scattered to the four corners of the earth that are in this fight, wanting to walk upright, to turn from our wickedness that's in this earth and make it to the kingdom. We say shalawam, shalom, peace and blessings to you. The water for tuning in, for those that are tuned in and will tune in at a later time. Please do the ministry a favor, hit that subscribe button. Also hit the bell so you can get notified when we go live. Hit that like button. And if you feel that this message is very edifying, I would encourage you to please share it with someone so that they may be edified. Once again, the water for tuning in on this beautiful Shabbat day. He has given us life. He has given us breath. He has given us another day to be able to live and to bring forth this gospel in this earth that we are in this simulation that we're in at this present time. So we give praises once again to the Father, the Ancient of Days, and the Giver of Life. I have a short video that I am going to play, and it's a give time for any other brothers and sisters that are going to join in with us on this beautiful Shabbat day. Hopefully you enjoy it. If you enjoy it, the link for the video is in the description box. Let me go ahead and pull that up. And for those that may miss it, I will play it one more time going out, but it's a beautiful song. And I pray that you listen to it and have the understanding of what is really being said here. Let me go ahead and pull it up. Here we go.
Followed by what? Segregation, Jim Crow, black codes, bad education. Politics is another coffee.
Grandpa, why does it feel like everything's against us?
Let me show you something.
They took crafty counsel against our people. Said, let's cut them off from being a nation. But the Most High see it all. We still here, and we rise and show. Psalm 83, they plotting on me. Enemies surround, but the angels see. They wanna break Judah, silence the sea. But we chose and we rise, we lead. Yeah. Psalm 83, they whisper deceit. Crafty counsel in the hidden streets. But the Most High got heat on repeat. Vengeance heals, Israel gon' heal. They made Confederate plans in silence. Hit them first up, blood on violence. Ishmaelites, Moab, Ammon, to all the nations round plot what to do. Try to erase our name, hide our face, still our booked in switch our rays, but the truth like thunder won't erase. Prophecy hitting at a militant pace. Some say keep not thy peace, make the enemy cease, let the wicked decrease like chaff before the breeze. They think they're kings, but they all just leaves. The throne of Jacob, we the real high priest. Tribe rise up, sound a shofar, Judah roll out from near and afar. Psalm 83, they plotting on me. Enemies surround, but the angels see. They wanna break Judah, silence the sea. But we chosen, we rise, we lead. Yeah. Psalm 83, they whisper to see. Crafty counsel in the hidden streets. But the Most High got heat on repeat. Vengeance his, Israel gon' eat. They came together one mind, one plan to wipe the children off the land. But the Most High don't sleep, don't slumber. He remember every act, every number. Esau fall like a crumble wall. Egypt faith when the pledge call. Sir join them, thinking they tall, but the righteous rise. We break that yoke off all. Let them be like stubble in a whirlwind. Flame of fire when the chariot spin. Make them know who the true God be. The Holy One of Jacob, the Elohim of peace. Psalm 83 ain't a song for fame. It's war for the name, power untamed. Israelites back reclaiming the claim. The saints stand tall, no shame. They said, come, let us cut them off. But the Most High wrote the last verse. We the sons of Zion, and we remember. Psalm 83, they plotting on me. Enemies surround, but the angels see. They wanna break Judah, silence the sea. But we chosen, we rise, we lead. Yeah. Psalm 83, they whisper to see. Crafty counsel in the hidden streets. But the Most High got heat on repeat. Vengeance is Israel gon' eat. Yeah. Let them know you whose name alone is YAHAWAH, the Most High over all the earth. Psalm 80 forever. Judah rise.
That's why we got to stay watchful. JoJo, endure till the end.
Psalm 83.
Con, like I say, hopefully you enjoyed it. I will play it again at the end of the lesson. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And if you never read Psalms 83, I encourage you to go there and read it. Let's turn to the book of Genesis. Let's get deep into this, right? To the book of Genesis, chapter 37. Today's lesson, you can see it on the screen, the title, Bible, right? The darkest chapter, why they hid this, right? And before I actually dive into that chapter, because there's many of them within the book that they hid, that they took out, we're going to dive into this just to set that foundation. Turn with me to Genesis chapter 37, verse 4. Genesis 37 and 4. And it reads, and when his brothers saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him and could not speak peaceably unto him. They're speaking about Joseph, right? And Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told his brethren, and they hated him yet the more. So Joseph had a dream, and he told his brothers about the dream. And in that dream that he had, he wanted to basically tell them and show them what happened. And when he did that, it basically made them hate him even more. And he said unto them, hear, I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed. For behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaf arose and also stood upright. And behold, your sheaf stood round about and made obedience to my sheaf. And his brothers said to him, shalt thou indeed reign over us? Or shalt thou indeed have dominion over us? and they hated him yet the more for his dreams and for his words. So what were they dealing in? They were dealing in what? Their emotions, their feelings, their opinions. A lot of people, all people, matter of fact, the majority of people, they deal with their emotions, they deal with their feelings, and then they deal with their opinions. But see, your emotions, your opinions, they don't matter to the Most High. The Most High is not a respected person, and the Most High is not a man that he should lie. So your opinion, your emotions, how you feel, it does not matter to the Most High. That's something that we have to understand. Just because these men or his brothers got mad because the Most High gave him this dream, did that matter to the Most High? No. Verse 9, and he dreamed yet another dream and told it to his brethren and said, behold, I have dreamed a dream more. And behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made obedience to me. And he told it to his father and to his brother, and his father rebuked him. So even his father rebuked him when he told him about the dream and said unto him, what is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall I and thy mother and thy brethren indeed come and bow down ourselves to thee, to the earth? And anybody who knows this story, this parable, this the outcome of it, yeah, that's exactly what happened, because that's what the Most High wanted to happen. He gave him this dream, he gave him this vision, and yet he tried to go tell it to people, which were his family members, and they rebuked him, they rejected him, and they hated him. Mostly the brothers, though, but the father did rebuke him. And like he's saying right here, am I and your mother and your brother, are we going to bow down to you? But for those who know the story about Joseph, who basically became Pharaoh, almost like right up under the Pharaoh, that's exactly what they did. They bowed down to him. That's exactly what they did. Verse 11, and his brethren envied him, but his father observed the same. So while the brothers was envying him, you know, basking in their emotions and their feelings and their opinions and all of these different things, the father, his dad, he was kind of sitting back observing things like, wait a minute. He was given this dream by the Most High. It could be true. It could be that we're going to bow down and fall at his feet. But what I'm trying to establish is that the Most High, when he comes to you in the dream. He comes to you in the vision. And he tells us that. Let me show you that real quick in the book of Job. Job chapter 33. Let me show you that real quick. Job chapter 33. Please turn there with me. Job chapter 33. Turn there with me, please. Job 33. And I'm going to just go right to it, right? 14. It says, for the Most High speaketh once, yet twice, yet man perceiveth not. We keep telling people, our brothers, our sisters, our family members, our mothers, our dads, our aunties, our uncles, our friends, our cousins, our kids. We keep telling them once, twice, but it says that man perceiveth not. People don't want to perceive. They don't want the word. They do not want it. This is why the Most High says, why do my people hate me so much? Why? If you have never read the Bible and realized that the Most High has says this, let me show you that. We'll come right back to Job. It's in Isaiah, right? Let me show you in the book of Isaiah. It says right here in the book of Isaiah, Isaiah 1 and 2, it says, hear, O Shemayim, heavens, and give ear, O earth. For Yahawah have spoken. I have nourished and brought up children. I've nourished you. I've taken care of you. I brought you up, and they have rebelled against me. So we understand this is what happens. Just as we have done it to the Most High, our children do it to us, and their children do it to them. This is nothing new under the sun. Verse 3, the ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel do not know. My people do not consider. They don't consider anything. Verse 4, sinful people. Nation means people. Sinful people, a people laden with iniquity. Laden with iniquity. Plenty of sin. A seed of evildoers. Children that, let me put it up, son. Children that are what? Corrupters. This is how the Most High looks at us, the children of Israel. He's telling you through the prophet Isaiah, children that are what? Corrupters. They have forsaken the Most High Yahawah. They have provoked the Quadash one of Israel unto anger. They are all going away, what? Backwards. Backwards. Just as when you try to teach somebody or you try to tell somebody or give them the gospel, sometimes they receive it, sometimes they don't. But then what happens? You see, sometimes people go backwards. Just like you raise up your children, you teach them the gospel, you give them the gospel. What happens? A lot of times they go backwards. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Verse 5, why should ye be stricken any more? You will revolt more and more. The more I try to hug you, the more I try to embrace you, the more I try to show love to you, it's going to make you more, it's going to make you revolt more and more. This is what he's saying. The whole head is sick. The whole head, it's in your mind. Your mind is sick. Not just a little bit, not just some of it, but it says the whole head is sick, meaning your mind. And if your mind is messed up, then everything else is messed up. Listen, it says, and the whole heart is faint. From the sole of the foot even to the head, there is no soundness in it. No soundness. You have no understanding. But wounds, bruises, petrifying swords, they have not been closed, neither bound up, neither with no ointment on them. You're not taking care of those sores. You know what happened to a sore when you don't take care of it. What happened? It gets infected. Sometimes it gets so infected to where you have to cut off your finger, cut off your hand, cut off your leg. So he's saying we are messed up in the mind as his children, the children of Israel, the believers of the Most High, and his only begotten son, Hamashiach Yahushai. He's saying those individuals are messed up in the mind. So when we read Job chapter 33 and we at 14, for it says, when the Most High speaketh once, yeah, twice, but yet a man doesn't perceive it. He does not understand. He's not catching it. A lot of times people just think, oh, it was a dream. It was nothing. But in verse 15, it says, in a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon a man, in slumberings upon the bed, when you go to sleep at night, you got drool running down the side of your face, you knocked out, snoring in a good deep sleep. A good deep sleep. Verse 16, he said, then he opened the ears of man. Why does he have to come to you at night when you sleep in a vision? You want to know why? Because that's the only time that you're not in your emotions, you're not in your feelings. You basically in a comatose where he can actually come and speak to you without you rebelling back. Without you rebelling back. He can actually get what he wants to get across because you're asleep and you're in this vision. Because as we bring the gospel to people now today in the fleshly thing, when they're up, awake, walking around, and you can actually talk to them, what happens? There's contention, there's strife, there's back and forth, there's rejection. They don't want it. But if you can catch a person while they sleep and just show them in the dream, then there's a good percentage of a chance that they will hear and see it out. Verse 16. Then he opened the ears of man and sealeth what? The instructions. That's all he's trying to give you is instructions for your life, not for his. He lives from everlasting to everlasting. He's already alive. The Ancient of Days. He doesn't have time. He doesn't say, oh, I'm 20 years old. Oh, I'm 1,000 years old. He doesn't do that. He's outside of time. So he's giving us instructions for what? How to live here on this earth. Because remember, this earth is a battlefield. Paul speaks about that in Ephesians chapter 6, when he tells you to put on what? The whole armor of the Most High. Why do you need armor? Why do you need a breastplate of righteousness? Why do you need the belt? Why do you need the shield? And it tells you to have faith. Why do you need the sword, which is the word of the Most High? Because this is a battlefield that you're in on the earth. But people don't realize that. Listen, let's be honest. Most of us that are born here on this earth, we don't realize it at a point in time. It's not until the Most High wakes you up out of this sleep, out of this darkness, and then you start to understand, like, well, wait a minute. Wow. You know, this world is really corrupt. And if I live the way the world tells me to live, when I leave here, because everybody is going to leave, nobody is going to stay here forever. We all fall asleep, which means to pass on. We're all going to pass on. So when you leave here, what happens? Well, the Bible tells us after we leave here, then it's the judgment. Now, you can say you don't care. You can say, oh, well, it doesn't matter to me. I don't believe in that. That doesn't matter. What matters is there is a judgment, whether you believe it or not. There is right and wrong, and we understand that in the earth. There is right and wrong. Verse 17, that he may withdraw man from his purpose and hide pride from man. He has to take that pride away from you. Let's show it in the comparative text. In the New King James, it says, in order to turn man from his deeds, the things that you usually do on a day-to-day basis without the Most High in your life, because you don't believe in him, you don't care about him, you just want to live your life, you just want to do what you want to do. This is why he comes to you in that dream, to make you turn away from that. Why? Because you're living in pride. You're a very prideful individual, man or woman. New Living Translation says he makes them turn from doing what? Wrong. He's trying to save your life because you don't even care about your own self. You have bought so much into the world that you think that you are part of this world and you want to live how the world portrays and what they say, what the American dream, so to say, if you are in America. If you're somewhere else, whatever dream that they have in those countries. But here in America, they sell you this American dream, a white picket fence, a nice house, a nice car, a dog, working a good job, 40, 50 hours a week, make good money. And that's the life that you want, because that's what's portrayed to us. That's what's given to us on a platter. That's what they say that you need to accomplish in order to live the American dream. But that's not the dream. That's not the way the Most High has it set up. He says he makes them turn from doing wrong. He keeps them from what? Pride. Pride is very destructive to the children of Israel, to the sons of the Most High, to the daughters of the Most High. His children. Pride is like a virus. That's what pride is. It'll come in and it'll destroy. This is why anytime you read in the word, it tells you to what? Get rid of that person that has that pride. Stone them, kill them, whatever you got to do. Take them out of here. Get them away from us. Why? Because it's a virus. It will infect everyone. It will infect everyone. And in order not to be infected, you have to come back to the Most High, right? Why is that? In verse 18, it says, he keepeth back his soul from the pit, that lake of fire. He's trying to keep your rakah, your soul, that breath that he gave you. He's trying to keep it from being cast into the lake of fire. He's trying to help you and his life from perishing by what? The sword. So this is why he comes to you in a dream. This is why he came to Joseph in a dream, in a vision. But there was one prophet. There was one prophet that he said he was going to do something different with. He wasn't going to come to them in a dream. He wasn't going to come to them in parables, dark sayings, all these different type of things. Let's get that prophet. Let's go to the book of Numbers real quick. Like I say, I'm just setting a foundation before we actually dive into the deep end on that chapter or that book that was hid and taken out of the Bible. Numbers chapter 12. Turn there with me. Numbers chapter 12. Numbers 12 and 4. And Yahweh spake suddenly unto Moses and unto Aaron and unto Miriam. Now, Miriam was who? Moses and Aaron's sister. A lot of times people don't talk about Miriam, but this is why a lot of women today name are what? Called Mary. That's where they get it from. Miriam. Come out. He says, come out, ye three, unto the tabernacle of the congregation. And they three came out. And Yahweh came down in a pillar of a cloud and stood in the door of the tabernacle and called Aaron, Miriam, and they both came forth. And he said, in verse 6, he says, hear now my words. If there be a prophet among you, I, Yahweh, will make myself known unto him in a vision. So if it is a prophet, if it is somebody of the Most High that's around you, he will make himself known in a vision or in a dream. Doesn't necessarily mean that that dream is going to be good. It could be a bad dream. Sometimes we call them what? Nightmares. But it's truth within that dream. For those who have had those dreams or had those visions. But he says with Moses, and I will speak unto him in a dream. My servant Moses is not so, who is faithful in all my house. So with Moses, he wasn't going to come in a vision. He wasn't going to speak to him in a dream. He wasn't going to do any of those things with Moses. With him, will I speak mouth to mouth. All praises be to the Most High. With Moses, he said, I'm not coming in no dream. I'm not coming in no vision. I'm not giving him no parables, no dark sayings. Nothing that needs to be broken down. I'm going to talk to Moses mouth to mouth. And not in dark speeches. He's telling you, I'm not going to have no riddles, no parables, no dark speeches, no similitudes of Yahweh shall he behold. Wherefore, then were ye not afraid to speak against my servant Moses. Yeah, they was talking about Moses behind his back. What do we call that? Backbiting. You speaking about somebody behind their back, talking about that person, that individual behind that back. Remember, nothing is hid from the Most High Yahweh. He hears and sees everything. Just because that individual is not there and you on the phone or you somewhere else and you talking about that person, the Most High hears it. And you can upset the Most High by speaking ill of that person, especially if that's somebody that the Most High is dealing with or using. Verse 9, it says, the anger of Yahweh was kindled against him, and he departed. And the cloud departed from off the tabernacle, and behold, Miriam became as leprous, white as snow. So she wasn't white already because she became that. So she wasn't white, Caucasian, as you would say, right? She wasn't that already. And Aaron looked up upon Miriam, and behold, she was leper. And Aaron said unto Moses, at last, my Adon, I beseech thee, lay not the sin upon us, wherein we have done foolishly, and wherein we have sinned. So do you know it is a sin to speak against a man or a woman of the Most High Yahweh? That is a sin. So much so that it angered the Most High. So be careful what you say about people, because you don't know if the Most High is working with that individual or not. And it could be attributed as sin to you. That's why he tells us don't gossip, don't murmur, don't whisper, don't backbite, don't do any of that stuff. Keep your mouth closed. If you ain't got nothing good to say or nothing positive to say, then just don't say it at all. Just keep it to yourself and don't say nothing. Be careful. So it could be considered a sin, and we don't want to go down that path, but not everybody that claim that they are of the Most High and Hamashiach Yahushai is that. You got something? Go ahead.
I was going to say that when it's considered a sin, it's like when you talk about somebody, it's almost like you have hate in your heart for that person. And when you hate someone, that's committing murder against your brother or sister, which is a sin. Wow,
that's a good point she brought out. She said when we talk about individuals, man or woman, that is considered, it could be considered sin, right? Because you can anger the Most High. But she was saying the reason you're speaking on that person is because you do have some type of hate in your heart. And, if you hate your brother or you hate your sister, as it's written in the law, like Hamashiach Yahushai said, if you have hate in your heart for your brother, that's basically committing murder, right? So that's how he looks at it on a higher level. Even though you didn't do anything physically, understand that we are as spiritual beings, so everything that we do is spiritual. So yeah, that's deep. Thank you for that. Yeah, that was another way to look at it, from her perspective. So beautiful. Now, once again, like I said, everybody that claims they are of the Most High and Hamashiach Yahushai does not mean that they are. Let's get a little bit of this in the book of Jeremiah. Once again, we just building a foundation before we jump to this dark secret, right? This dark chapter. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23. Please turn there with me if you have your Bibles. If not, it's on the screen. Jeremiah 23, and I'm going to jump down to, let me see. I'm going to start at 20, right? Jeremiah 23 and 20. Now, if you have not read this, like I always do, I encourage you to go back and read the whole book. But I'm going to just start here. Jeremiah 23 and 20. The anger of Yahweh shall not return. So that means when his anger goes out, it's coming to us until he have executed, until he have performed the thoughts of his heart. In the latter days, ye shall consider it perfectly. Well, we are in the latter days. There may be latter days after us, but we are in the latter days. And I'm going to show you that in the book that's hid, to show you that we are in the latter. There's no doubt about it. We are in the latter days. And if you stay to the end, I am going to show you that we are in the latter days. That is what is written. So you can't get out of that. 21. I have not sent these prophets, yet they ran. I have not spoken to them, yet they prophesied. So you do have men that are here on the earth, prophets, call themselves pastors, shepherds, bishops, deacons, elders, captains, whatever they title, men give themselves. apostles. That doesn't mean that they necessarily have been sent from the Most High. He's telling you right here, in the latter days, I have not sent these prophets, yet they ran. I have not spoken to them, yet they still out here prophesying. But if they had stood in my counsel and had caused my people to hear my words, then they should have turned from their evil way and from the evil of their doings. So if a man is really preaching the word of the Most High and giving the counsel of the Most High, then those people that are hearing and receiving that bread, the word, they will turn from what? Their evil doings. Am I a power at hand? Yes, he is. Saith Yahawah. Am not a power afar off? No, he's not. He's with us right here today. It says in the Bible, where two or more gather, he is there. And I know he's here because he has given us breath, or given me breath, because I'm talking right now. Who is ever watching, you alive today, so he's with you. He woke you up this morning. He has given you life this morning. Verse 24. Can any hide himself in a secret place? No, you can't. You can't go in your closet. You can't pull up in that alley, right? You can't go inside a building and turn all the lights off and close all the doors and the windows and say, oh, I'm in a secret place. Now the Most High can't see me. I can do all that I want to do. No. This is what he said. Can any hide himself in a secret place that I shall not see him? I'm going to highlight all of that. No, it's a question. So if you think you hiding something from the Most High, you are sadly mistaken. There's nowhere where you can go under the ground, under the earth, in an airplane. No matter where you at, the Most High see you. Saith Yahawah, do not I feel the Shemayim and the earth, says Yahawah. I have heard what the prophets said. They prophesied lies. These people in these churches, in these congregations, in some, even in these camps, they prophesied lies. He's telling you. In whose name? He says, in my name. Saying, I have dreamed, I have dreamed. And you know, you hear that all the time, especially on social media. Somebody tell you they had a dream. They was in hell. They was in heaven. They was in this. They was in that. They seen Satan. They seen God. All this stuff. 26. How long shall this be in the heart of thy prophets, or of the prophets, Salakia, that they prophesy lies? Yeah, they are prophets of what? Deceit. And we can just call them off, you know, Joel Osteen, John Gray, John Hagee, Creflo O'Donnell, TG, what is it? TD, what is his name? TD Jakes. I mean, and just many more. Those just to name a few. We're not even talking, those are just some big ones. We ain't even talking about the ones that's just on the corner on that church on Sunday that's prophesying lies. Geno Jennings, Fred Price, him and his son. You have to understand where these people come from, their doctrine, their foundation. They are prophets of deceit in their own heart. 27, which thinks to cause my people to forget what? My name. Why he keep talking about his name? Because it's important. Do you know his name? Does anybody know the Father's name? Because if you go to any church, you're not going to hear nothing about the Father. All you going to hear is about JC, 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 JC. If you don't know what JC is, it's Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ. What about the Father? What is his name? The Bible even asks you that. Let me show you that real quick. We're going to come back. Jeremiah 23 and 27. Let me go to Proverbs real quick, just to bring that out. Because the Bible asks you that. Proverbs chapter 30, Verse 3, I'll start at. I neither learn wisdom nor have the knowledge of the Kodash. Verse 4 says, who have ascended up into the Shemayim, or descended? Who have gathered the wind in his fist? Who have bound the waters in his garment? Salakia, in a garment. Who have established all the ends of the earth? What is his name? And what is his son's name, if thou can tell? Can you tell? Can you tell me what is his name? That's what the Bible is asking you. Can you tell me his name? Shabbat Shalawam, Sister Adriana, the water for being here. She says, Shabbat Shalawam, Yashra Allah. Shabbat Shalawam, Aqua Dorothy. She says, Shabbat Shalawam, family, all praises. And she also says, Shabbat Shalawam, beloved Sister Mayana Pasha and Dorothy. Shabbat Shalawam to all of the Ahchwathyam, all of the sisters in the chat, and all of the Ahchyam, the brothers that are in the chat, or that may watch this at a later time. But we see right here in the book of Proverbs, chapter 30, verse 4, it asks you, do you know that his name? Do you know the Father's name? And if so, it says, and what is his son's name? If thou can't tell. If you can tell me, then say it. If you ask me the Father's name, it's going to say, I'm going to say Yahawah. If you ask me the son's name, I'm going to say Yahweh Shai. You might say, well, in my Bible that I have right here, you know, in this holy Bible that we have, it says Jesus Christ. Well, that's an English name. That's an English name. And we understand that he was what? A Hebrew Israelite. He was an Israelite from the tribe of Judah. So if you go back to that and you read his name in the Hebrew, we say Yahweh Shai from the Lashawan Kodash. Some other brothers might say Yehoshua or Yahushua because they use the vowel system. Some other people might say for the Father, Yahuwah or Yahweh. Now they're not far off, but at least they know to call on Yah. At least they know to call on the Most High. They have a name. But most people in those congregations, in those churches, they don't have the name. And they don't have the son's name. And this is something that the Bible is asking you, do you have? It says in verse 5, every word of the Most High is what? Pure. He is a shield unto them that put their trust in him. And if you don't know his name, how can you put your trust in him? You don't even know his name. Them people just, they steady calling on G-O-D, 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 G-O-D. What was that? That's a title. That ain't no name. And that just means power. What power? There's a lot of powers in the earth. What power are you calling on? Because Satan is a power too. It even calls him a G-O-D in the Bible. If you didn't know that, it calls Satan a G-O-D in the Bible, which just means power. So he is a power too. So what power are you calling on? This is why we have to have understanding, right? But not to get too far off topic, let's go back. Jeremiah 23 and 27. This is why you got to be careful that you're not listening to somebody who's prophesying lies or bringing forth lies, whoever that shepherd, pastor, prophet, whatever they call themselves, apostle, you know, whatever they call themselves, make sure that they're not prophesying lies. And how will you make sure of that? By knowing the very word of the Most High. That's your job and that's your duty to know the word of the Most High. He says they are prophets of deceit of their own heart. 27, which think to cause my people to forget my name by their dreams, which they tell every man to his neighbor, as their fathers have forgotten my name for who? Baal. That's Satan. That's Satan. Let's get that. That's who they calling on. And I already showed it to you before, but let me show it again for those people who want to continually call on Lord, it shows you right here in the outline biblical usage. When you use Lord, which people call on every Sunday and all throughout the week, who are they calling on? It's telling you Baal, Satan, Hasatan. It's telling you right here in black and white. You can see it on the screen. So stop using Lord. Next time you hear somebody use that, just know it's a great possibility that they could be talking about Satan. Because it's telling you right here, I didn't make this was here before I was born. Before I was in my mother's womb, this was already here. And you see it on the screen, Lord. And it tells you that was the Canaanite deity. It tells you. It tells you right here, look. There it is on the screen. Right there. You can't get away from this. That's another people's deity, the Canaanites people. That's their deity, meaning that's their God. That's who they worship. That big statue with the horns where they sacrifice their children, their newborn children, they would heat it up. And then they would go sit their children on the hands or on the arms and let them burn. That's the deity that they were sacrificing to, which is Hasatan, which is Satan. So next time you call on Lord, that's who you calling on. And if you hear people say Lord, that's who they calling on. That's why they can sit in those churches and prophesy what? Lies. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, when they be calling on that name in the churches and stuff,
right?
Then you realize the type of spirit that they get, where they want to say it's the Kodash
spirit,
God,
right?
But it's not, because then they all get to speaking in
false tongues.
False
yeah,
tongues.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it is a spirit, but it's not a Kodash spirit. It's right.
But you need the discernment from the Most High in order to know that, because if you don't have the discernment, then you be in that false church thinking they really speaking in tongues.
Well, that's why you shouldn't be in those churches.
Well, I mean, all I could do is keep telling people that they shouldn't be in it, but people still gonna go. They still gonna do it. All I could do is continue to tell them and preach the truth. That's all I could do. I can't handcuff everybody in the world and say, if you go in there, you're not with. I can't do it. I wish I could. But all I could do is preach the word of the Most High and show people that when you call on Lord, or you say Lord, this is who you calling on, Satan. And that's why they put it all in the book. If you look through this book right here in the King James Bible, if you don't have the 1611, right? If you look through this King James Bible right now, that's all you will see all throughout the Bible, Lord. You think it's a coincidence that they put that in there? No, they put that in there on purpose. Because if you call on that and you say that and you don't have the understanding of what you're calling on, the whole time you're calling on Satan and you don't even realize it. Trickery. That's why he said, what did the Bible say? He comes to what? Kill, steal, and destroy. He comes to deceive who? The whole world. Not half of it, not some of it, but all of it.
Sister Dorothy said English is such a demonic language. We speak English, and that is the problem.
God. And she's 100% correct. It is demonic. It is a demonic language. That's why I encourage your brothers and sisters. I don't care if you want to learn the Shalawam Kodash, or you want to learn the modern Hebrew with the vowels, the Nukud and the vowel system and all that. That's fine. At least you will be speaking Hebrew. At least you will learn Hebrew. And then when you go into the text, you will be able to see even more within the text. But like I say, this is why they put that in there. So if you have this Bible, right? I'll show it on the screen. Hold on. Let me stop sharing. if you have this Bible on, right? This is not the 1611, it's just a regular one. But you're going to have Lord all throughout the Bible. And the reason they put that in there is because most people don't read and they do not know that Lord represents what? Baal. I'm showing it to you on the screen. I just showed it to you.
She said this just tells me that we need to make learning the pure language more a priority.
More of a priority. Yeah. 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 But to be honest, Aqua, how many brothers and sisters do you know personally that push for that? This is why we have to encourage our people and push them to go back to the ancient, to learn the Hebrew, even if you don't know it fluently, just to learn something. I don't care if you just learn the alphabets. If you just learn the alphabet, that's a start, and it will help you tremendously. I'm not saying you got to be fluent. I'm not fluent. I can't be. I can't have just a whole day of conversation in Hebrew. But those little bit of things, those little ones, like he said, the mustard seed. If you just get a mustard seed of it, it will grow and blossom into something so beautiful. So yes, I encourage brothers to go back and please learn, even if you do just the alphabets.
Sister Dorothy said, I don't trust the modern Hebrew. I don't want anything to do with those Yiddish people. Adriana said, they literally messed it up so bad it's crazy. I gotta get myself learning more Hebrew.
And I always show, for those who are interested, where you can start at, and I'm gonna show you how I started is
Dorothy be learning.
Can you give me that one book off of my table? It's called The Beginning of Hebrew, and it's a little book that you can order, online. It's only like $6-7 or something. If you in a place or position where you can't afford it, reach out to me, email me. I'll buy it for you and I'll send it to you. So you can't say, well, I can't afford it, or I'm tight right now. Reach out to us, email us at the ministry, and if you can't afford it, we'll purchase it for you and send it off to you, because everybody should have it. Everybody should have it. The sister Dorothy said, I ordered some books and expect them to arrive Monday, according on Amazon.
Which one?
It doesn't matter. Yeah. Now, let me put it on the screen real quick. Let me stop sharing that. Now, the sister you see, she says she ordered some books and they should be coming on Monday. Now, here we go. Now, this is the one that I started with. It says handbook, right? Basic Paleo Hebrew. And it's from a company called So Am I, right? And here's the other one. Now, what you see here, this is what you would call pictographic Hebrew right here. This is the ox head and this is the tha. And I'll just open it up so you can kind of see. Trying to get something good so I can show you. So as you can see right there on the screen, let me see if you can kind of see. I know it's a little dark, but anyway, if you go to the website, Amazon, anything, these little books are a few dollars, and they definitely help. It'll help you with the alphabets, and it have all the alphabets, and it tell you what the alphabets mean. It tell you what the letters mean, and it gives you good information. And that's how I started, right? And it even teaches you how to write Hebrew, all those different things. So it's definitely helpful, So yes, we do have to get back as the she said, I do not see those books online. Okay, I'm gonna have my aunt send something to you so you can find it. Actually, I'll have her send you the website where it's many books. It's they actually sell a Bible where it says Hamashiach Yahawashi inside of it and Yahweh inside of it. Let me show that because I have it right here. Let me move this real quick. Here it is right here. This is their actual Bible on that website. And as you can see on the side, it says Hamashiach Yahushai. The Hamashiach Bible. And it has everything in here. So you can order this off of that website too. And it uses the Hebrew, right? And I'm gonna send that to you, Sister Dorothy. So in case you want it. And anybody else, just email me and I'll send you the information and we'll go from there. Right? Con. Adriana said, Con, please have Sis Mayan share the website. Con. She definitely will. So they asked, both of them is asking for that when you get a chance. She said, Con, please send it. I'd like to have it, Con. We're going to get that to you today. Definitely. You will have it today, if not in a matter of minutes, before the day is over with. Whenever she get time, she'll definitely send it to you. Let's go back to the scriptures. And I hope, when you go on there, the website is called So Am I. You could pull that up. I'm not sure how they say it.
I'm looking for it right now. I'll get it.
Okay, she said she'll get it and we'll put it in the chat. So Jeremiah 23 and 28. It says, the prophet that have a dream, let him tell a dream. And he that have my word, let him speak my word faithfully. Right? This is where we at. Let him speak my word faithfully. What is sheaf or shaft to wheat? Right? Basically what he's saying is like a grain. What is the difference between straw and grain? Right? What is the difference? It says, let these false prophets tell their dreams, but let my true messengers, right? The one who's really sent from the Most High, faithfully proclaim my every word. There is a difference between straw and grain. There definitely is. Like I say, if you come to this platform, you're not going to get just John 3:16. We're going to give you the truth here. That's what we proclaim here on this platform. Truth. Verse 29, is not my word like a fire? I want you to remember this right here when he says his word like a fire. Can I ask a question to the chat? Anybody in the chat, or just anybody? It doesn't necessarily have to be the chat. Let me ask a question. When Hamashiach Yahushai came, the anointed one that laid down his life for us, hung on the tree, shed his blood, he said he was going to baptize you with what? What did he say he was going to baptize you with? Anybody can answer. What did he say he was going to baptize you with? John the Baptist was baptizing in the water in the Jordan. Huh?
Fire.
She says fire. Why was he going to baptize you in the fire? Because the Most High's word, he says, is what? Like a fire. Baptize means to what? Immerse. That's what the word baptism, baptize, that's what the word really means. It means to immerse you in the very word of the Most High, not dunk you in no water. It means to immerse you in the word of the Most High, which is like what? Fire. That's why Hamashiach Yahushai said, I'm going to baptize you in the fire, meaning to immerse you in the word of the Most High, because his words is like what? Fire. Saith Yahweh, and like a hammer that breaketh the rock in pieces. Therefore, behold, I am against the prophet, saith Yahweh, that steal my words, every one from his neighbor. Behold, I am against the prophet, saith Yahweh, that use their tongues and say, he saith. Now, you know they get up there on Sunday morning and do that. But the Most High said he is against those men. Verse 32, behold, I am against that prophecy, false dreams, saith Yahweh, and do tell them and cause my people to err by their lies. Any man that could get up on the pew on Saturday morning, on Shabbat, on Sunday morning, on the first day of the week, or any day of the week, and get up and say that the Most High laws is done away with, you do not have to keep them, That's in the Old Testament. They are causing his people, as it says right here, to error. By what? Lies, and by their lightness. Yet I sent them not. They have not been sent by the Most High. Look how many people, look how many shepherds, pastors, prophets, apostles that say that they are sent from the Most High. Look, when you have the discernment, the understanding, look how many men have not truly been sent by the Most High. He says, I have not sent them, nor commanded them. Therefore, they shall not profit this people at all, saith Yahweh. And they don't profit those people. They don't profit them at all. But you know who does get the profit? They do. That's why they live in $10 million home. That's why they drive private planes and jets and take lavish vacations, and because they're not profiting the people, they're profiting off of the people by telling them what? Lies, which make the people content in the way that they live because they're not telling them the truth. And that's exactly what the people want. In Isaiah chapter 30, verse 8, when they tell the prophets, prophesy lies to us, deceit. Don't tell us what the Quadash one of Israel want, just prophesy lies to us. Verse 33, and when this people or the prophet or a priest shall ask thee, saying, what is the burden of Yahweh? If somebody ever asks you this question, brothers and sisters, if somebody ever asks you this question, what is the burden of Yahweh? Thou shalt then say unto them, what burden? That's what you need to come back at them. What you mean? What burden? What are you talking about? The burden of Yahweh. What burden? He says, I will even forsake you, saith Yahweh. And as for that prophet and that priest and the people that shall say the burden of Yahweh, I will even punish that man and his house. So not only will they be punished, their whole house will be punished. Thus shall you say every one to his brother and every one to his brother, what have Yahweh answered, and what have Yahweh spoken? And the burden of Yahweh shall ye mention no more, for every man's word shall be his burden. For ye have perverted the words of the living power, and Yahweh of hosts our power. Thus shalt thou say to the prophet, what have Yahweh answered thee, and what have Yahweh spoken? But since ye say the burden of Yahweh, therefore thus saith Yahweh, because you or ye say this word, the burden of Yahweh, and I have what? Sent unto you, saying ye shall not say the burden of Yahweh. Therefore, behold, I, even I, will utterly forget you, and I will forsake you, and the city that I gave you and your fathers, and cast you out of my presence. And that's what happened. And that's why we still are where we are today, because people are sitting in these congregations, in these churches, in these camps, in these buildings, and they are still listening to these false prophets that are preaching what? Lies and deceit. And they are not hearkening or listening or taking heed to the word of the Most High Yahweh. Let's turn from there to the book of Psalms. Psalms chapter 49. Psalms chapter 49. The Ahchwathyam says the water, Khan. You see it on the screen right there. That is the website. The water, Mayana Pasha, for putting it on the screen. All you have to do is pull that website out. Pull it up, and it'll give you all of the Shalawam Quadash that you can possibly get.
They got little games on there.
She says they have little games, they have little books, they have Bibles that you can buy with the Shalawam Quadash in there that says Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, that says Yahweh. They have things for the kids. If you have little children, if you have teenagers, no matter what, they have something for everyone. All you have to do is pull that website out, pull the website up, and go into it. She said the link is in the chat. Sister Yanni, please check your email. Khan, I've heard. Khan, I have and have shared it. LOL, Khan. I also text both of you. Khan. Yeah. It will definitely help. You know, for those that have an ear to hear, please let them hear. You know, that's where I started with that. It helped me tremendously because I was having issues learning certain things in the Hebrew, and that helped me tremendously. It still helps me. As you see, I still have them. They're right next to me. I grab them all the time, and it helps me. She says, Khan, I will, the water family, Khan. Hey, that's what we're here to do, you know. That's what we're here to do. All praise to the Most High that it came out and it's going to be helpful, you know. That's what we're here to do, edify. This is Psalms chapter 49, verse 1. It says, hear this, all ye people, give ear, all the inhabitants of the world. So this is for everybody that lives on the world, in the world, on the earth. Everybody, all ye inhabitants of what? The world. Verse 2, both low and high, rich and poor together. My mouth shall speak of wisdom, and the meditation of my heart shall be of understanding. I will incline my ear to a what? Parable. Listen to what it says in verse 4. So key points so far. The fire, which is the word of the Most High, which Hamashiach Yahushua said he's going to immerse us in, baptize us in. Right? That was key 1, fire. Key 2 is Psalms 49 and 4 when it says, I will incline my ear to what? A parable. I will open my dark sayings upon the heart. I'm going to stop right there. I want you to remember that. He's going to incline the ear to what? A parable. Let's go to Psalm 78. Turn there with me. Psalms chapter 78. Verse 1 says, give ear, O my people. Open your ears. For those who have understanding, he says, give ear, open it up. My people, to what? My law. Incline your ears to the words of my mouth. I will open my mouth in a what? A parable. There it is again. This is the Rakah of the Most High speaking through him. And he's saying that what? I will open my mouth in what? A parable. I will utter dark sayings of old, which we have heard and known, and our fathers have told us. We will not hide them from who? Their children, showing to the generations to come the praise of Yahweh and his strength and his wonderful works that he have done. For he established a testimony in Jacob and appointed a law in Israel, which he commanded our fathers that they should make them known to who? Their children. So if you have told your children, if you have made it known to your children, the law, the testimony, everything that was commanded of the Most High, you did your job. Whether they reject it or whether they keep it, you have done your job. Verse 6, that the generations to come might know them. I was out years ago. This had to be about maybe 6-7 years ago. And I had a shirt on with like some of the commandments. And I remember this gentleman, when he turned around, he said, wow, when he looked at the shirt. And the one question that he asked me, he said, do you have children? You have kids? We said, yeah. He said, man, what a beautiful thing. Why? Because it's important that you teach your children and that they know, as it says in verse 6, that the generations to come, the ones that are not even born yet, that they might know, even the children which shall be born, who shall arise and declare to their children. So we're talking about generation to generation to generation to generation, that they might set their hope in the Most High and not forget the works of the Most High, but keep his commandments, and might not be as their fathers, a stubborn and rebellious generation, a generation that set not their heart right, and whose rakah was not steadfast with the Most High. The children of Ephraim, being armed and carrying bows, turned back in the day of battle. They kept not the covenant of the Most High and refused to walk in his laws. And the reason it's speaking about Ephraim, because Ephraim was one of the head tribes. They were one of the head tribes. So it's going into Ephraim, how they turned and didn't want to walk in the Most High way. Verse 11, and forgot his works and his wonders that he had showed them. So let's not, us as a people, as a nation, let us not be that way. And understand, we spoke on a few things so far: fire, those dark sayings, and those parables, right? Those parables. You might say, well, why is that so important? Why does he keep saying the fire, the dark sayings, the parables? You started that off in Genesis 37. You went to Numbers talking about Moses, dark sayings, parables. We in Psalms, we talking about parables, dark sayings, fire. Why you keep bringing these things up? Well, let's go to the New Testament. Let me show you. Matthew chapter 13. Turn there with me. Matthew chapter 13. I'm going to tell you why it's important, right? And I'm not going to tell you, I'm going to show you, I should say. I'm going to say Matthew 13 and 9. This is for you. For all those that are listening now and at a later time. If you still here, you still watching, just hold on. Don't leave. I'm telling you, don't leave. Matthew 13 and 9. It says, who have ears to hear, let them hear. So this is for those people, the brothers and sisters, the Ahchyam, the Ahchwathyam, that have ears to hear. Verse 10, it says, and the disciples came and said unto him, speaking about Hamashiach, the anointed one, our brother, why speakest thou unto them in parables? He says right here in verse 11, I'm going to put it up. He answered and said unto them, let me highlight it. Because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of the Shemayim, or of heaven. But to them, it is not given. So there are going to be individuals, there are going to be people on this earth, in this world, that are not going to be able to receive these parables, these dark sayings. Why? Because they are not of the Most High. Now jump down with me to 33. We're still in the book of Matthew, chapter 13. Jump down to verse 33. Now, if you didn't know, you're about to learn and you're about to know. YAHAWAH, our brother, who the world calls Jesus Christ, he never spoke to the people or in front of people without speaking in a parable. Every time he spoke in dark sayings, which are parables, are considered riddles. Verse 33 says, another parable spake he unto them. The kingdom of the Shemayim is like unto leaven, which a woman took and hid 3 measures of meal till the whole was leavened. All these things spake YAHAWAH unto the what? Multitude in what? Parables. And without a parable spake he not unto them. So he never spoke unto the people without speaking in what? A parable format. In the New Living Translation, comparative text, it says, Yahawashi always used stories and illustrations like these when speaking to the crowds. In fact, he never spoke to them without using what? Parables. So that's why it was important for me to show you in the book of Psalms 49, in the book of Psalms 78, in Genesis 37, about the dreams, in the book of Job, in visions, in dark sayings. And when we went to the book of Numbers, chapter 12, Moses was set apart from all that because he says, with Moses, I'm not going to speak to him in dark sayings and parables and none of that. I'm going to speak to Moses mouth to mouth. But to us and everybody else, he's going to speak to you in dark sayings and in parables. And if you do not understand the parables, then you do not understand the very word of the Most High. That's it. That's why you can have the Bible and have no understanding of what it truly means or what it truly says, because you do not understand the parables. It is written right here in black and white. You see it on the screen that Yahawashi himself never, ever, ever spoke to the people without talking in parables. Why? Because that was prophecy. It was prophesied, all the ones that I showed you. Psalms 49, Psalm 78, everything that I showed you, that is prophetic, that he had to speak to the people in what? Parables. He had to. He was fulfilling prophecy by doing so, but people don't even realize that. They don't even realize he had to speak in parables. That way he fulfilled the prophecy that was written about him, that he was going to speak to them in what? Parables. Verse 35, that it might be what? Fulfilled. I'm telling you right here. The reason Yahawashi did that is because that's what was written about him by the ancients, by the prophets. That when he was to come to earth and walk the earth, when he spoke to the people, he would speak to them what? In parables, in dark sayings. So when he did that, he was what? Fulfilling prophecy that was written about him. That's why it says in verse 35 that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by the prophets, saying, I will open my mouth in what? Parables. I showed you where that is. In Psalms 49, in Psalm 78, Salakia. That's where it was written about Hamashiach Yahawashi, that he was going to open his mouth, and when he speak to the people, he was going to speak in parables to the people. That's why people still today don't understand his word, because they are in a parable format. It is not for everybody. She says she got two things. No, bring it out. I'm just trying to tell you this stuff in the chat. Okay, come on.
Brother Timothy said just got out Shabbat class on the 695 Beltway, listening, driving home. And Sister Adriana said, Salakia, so only the elect of Yasharallah would understand.
Khan.
The elect of Yasharallah would understand? Yeah,
Khan. You said it right there, sister. You said it right there. Only the elect. Only those who are chosen. Only the ones that was pulled from before the foundations of the earth will understand those parables and understand those words. This is why he spoke to them in parables. Let me go back up and show you, because you might say, well, wait a minute. I don't know. Let me go back up. Let me show you. Let's go back up where we was. 13 and 11. Let's go back up. I'm going to show you. For the exact question you just had or what you just said, I'm going to show you on the screen, and I'm going to leave your comment up there, right? He says he answered. This is Matthew 13 and 11. He answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries, right? The elect. It was given unto the apostles to know the mysteries of what? The kingdom of heaven. But to them, it is not given, The ones that are not been chosen, that's not elect, is not given to them. Watch this, verse 12. For whosoever have, to him shall be given, and he shall have more abundance. But whosoever have not, from him shall be taken away, even that he have. Therefore speak I to them in parables. Here it is. This is what you want right here. Because they seeing, see not, and hearing, they hear not, neither do they understand. Once again, sister Adriana, here it is. And in them is fulfilled the what? Prophecy. That was already prophesied about those people. It's already prophesied about it. Where? In the book of Isaiah. Let's go there. I went from 13, 11 to, I'm going to go to 15. It says, and in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah, saying, which saith, by hearing ye shall hear, and shall not understand. And seeing ye shall see, and not perceive. You can see it. You can put your eyes on it. You can go to Barnes and Nobles. You can go to all the bookstores and buy many Bibles as you want. You can go to many churches as you want. You can join as many camps as you want. You can do anything you want to do, but you're not going to perceive it. It says right here in 15, for this people's heart is waxed gross, and their ears are dull of hearing, and their eyes they have closed, lest at any time they should see with their eyes and hear with their ears, and should what? Understand with their heart, and should be converted, and I should heal them. Verse 16. But listen right here, Sister Adriana, verse 16. But blessed, Barak are your eyes. And everybody else is in the chat. Anybody else is watching. But Barak to your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. And this is prophecy written in the book of Isaiah. So Isaiah wrote this thousands of years ago, that in this time, when Hamashiach Yahushua came and revealed these mysteries and these parables, that he was going to stand in front of people and they were going to see him but not understand. They were going to hear him but not understand what is being said. It's the same thing today. People have the Bible. They go to church every Sunday. They join camps. They listen to people. They're part of a congregation, but they lack and don't have any understanding. Why? Because their eyes cannot see and their ears are dull of hearing. This is prophecy in the book of Isaiah. And I'm going to show you where it is in the book of Isaiah. We just going to cross-reference it right here. Isaiah 6 and 9, right there. Let me pull it up on the screen, so you can go to it yourself. Make sure you write this down, or you can always come back yourself. This is Isaiah 6 and 8. Also, I heard the voice of Yahweh saying, whom shall I send, and who will go forth for us? Then said I, here am I, send me. And he said, go and tell this people, hear ye indeed, but understand not. And see ye indeed, but perceive not. Everyone is listening. You have to understand that everything that Hamashiach Yahushua said out of his mouth, those words were given to him by the Father. And he is fulfilling what is prophesied about him. So, yeah, we was reading Matthew 13, but this was prophesied about in Isaiah chapter 6. It says right here, verse 10, make the heart of this people fat and their ears heavy, and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes and hear with their ears and understand with their heart and convert and be healed. Understand, the Most High doesn't want these people to be healed. He does not want these people to be saved. That's why he closed their eyes and close their ears. So no, they are not part of the elect. Otherwise, he would want them to be saved. You got a comment? Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like when you know something that's worth something of knowing, and you bring a friend along because you want them to know, but they could hear it and see it, but they don't understand it because it wasn't meant for them to know it. Unless they wanted to know it and want to, like with that scripture that says, do all things for the Most High in joy. So you want to learn it, you want to know it, you want to understand it, then he will let you see it. But if you just going to go just so that you could say, I know that, I got that, but
well, it has to be. I agree with that. And it has to be in you. It has to be already put in you as part of the chosen, part of the elect. Let me show this real quick. Let me just show this real quick because I showed that in Matthew, and I think I read 35 already. Let me go down. Yeah, right. That it may be fulfilled, which was spoken by the prophet, saying, I open my mouth to parables. I will utter things which have been kept secret from the foundation of the world, right? So this is things that Hamashiach Yahushua is saying in parables that were secret, that were hid from the foundation of the world, from the beginning. So if you can read this and you have understanding, you understand this message, you understand what's coming out today, and you have okay, I understand it, no problem. Like, I get it. Well, that's because you were chosen before the foundation of the world. And as like she was just saying, when you go, or you might be listening to this and you say, man, this is fire. Like, man, I understand this. And you may send this to somebody or try to share with a brother or a sister or a family member. And they like, man, I don't understand what that guy is saying. I went and I read it and I just don't get it. Well, this is why Hamashiach Yahushua says this in the book of John, chapter 6, 44, and many other places, but I'm going to just go here. This is why he says, no man can come to me except the Father which have sent me draw him. See, it has to be in you already. When it says draw, let me show you when we go here. Let me go back again. Let me show you when we go to that word draw. I'm going to show you. It is the Greek word 1670, right? But when we go here to the outline, the biblical usage, it says to draw, to drag off. And then it says right here to draw by an inward power. It's already in you. There's nothing that you can do. When the Most High, when your time is called, when he starts to call you, there's nothing you can possibly do to turn and leave the Most High because it's in you. Just like it was in Peter, just like it was in Bartholomew, Matthew, what's the other guy name that he said you are? Nathaniel. Everybody that was called, it was already put in them. So when Yahawashi came to them, it was something inside of them that drawed them to him, because it was an inward power that the Most High Yahweh had already put in us before the foundation of the world. This is why when you go to the book of Ephesians, we just go to the book of Ephesians chapter 1 real quick. And Paul goes deep into it, right? I'll start at verse 3. Barak be the Most High and Father of our Adon, Yahawashi Mashiach, who has exalted us with all spiritual blessings in heavenly places in Hamashiach. Verse 4. According as he has chosen us. You were already chosen, Sister Adriana. You were already chosen. In him before the foundation of the world, meaning before he created the earth. You are already chosen. You are already part of the elect. That we should be what? Quadash and without blame before him in love, having predestined us unto the adoption of the children, or Salakia, of children, by YAHAWAH HaMashiach to himself, according to the good pleasures of his will. So you were already chosen, part of the elect. So no, if you're not part of the elect, if you're not part of the chosen, if you're not predestined, then no, you will not have any understanding of the word. This is why YAHAWAH spoke to the people in parables. It was for those who had an ear to hear and eyes to see. That's the way the Most High Yahweh has it set up. That's what he wanted. And it's not for everybody. And it's not what I'm saying. You know, this is what the Bible, this is what the word says. You have elect. I mean, it even says it in the book of Isaiah when you look up the elect. His elect, that's what we're called. His elect, his chosen, his Quadash people. You got something? Go ahead.
Yeah, I have a comment. So is it safe to say, because I know there are times where people can understand some parables at one given point in time, and then they may not understand a different one at that same point in time, but yet later on they will understand it as they go on through life.
Yeah, that don't mean you're gonna get everything all at once.
No, yeah. So
yeah,
it's basically saying that for the ones that for example, you have people who say, I read the Bible 3 times, I still don't understand.
Correct.
Those are the ones that are not elect.
Correct.
No,
they just don't get it, and
right.
when they don't get it because they read it 2, 3, 4, 5 times, they tried to go to church, they tried this, they tried that, right. It just doesn't resonate with them, and they cast it from them. And they'll tell you after all that, they like, man, I read it 4 times, 5 times, I've been to church my whole life. It's not for me.
And then even when they go to church and they do that, and they so-called seem to understand the church view of it.
Yeah, well,
that's the Most High letting them believe that lie.
Correct.
Because that's what they want to believe.
Correct.
The prosper and the,
prosperity.
The prosperity and the
correct.
So-called Barakans that they so-called say,
That's why I say you can find a church, you can find a camp, you can find a congregation that whatever you want, but is it the truth?
Right. So it's not to say, for people who are listening, it's not to say that just because you don't understand a certain parable at this point in time, but you understood others, does not mean that you are not of the elect. It's just you have not grown to that point to understand the one that you're listening to.
That's a great point. And I hope you guys can hear, like she said, it's not to say, and I'm not saying just because you may not understand something right now at this point in time, that it may not be revealed to you at a later time. That's how the Most High works. He's not going to reveal everything to you all at once. He wants you to continually seek him. That's why he says you must endure to the end. And let me show you that. Go back to Matthew 13. That's a great point that she brought out. And then I'm going to show you, because remember, he's having this conversation with who? The disciples. So we'll go back up again as he's talking to the disciples and he's telling them. Matter of fact, let me go to a parable. Let me show you. Let me go to the. Okay, here it is. Let's go to the tares and the wheat, right? Matthew 13 and 24. And then we'll move on after this. So this is Matthew 13 and 24. Another parable put he forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of the Shemayim is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. But while man slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way. But when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. So the servants of the household came and said unto him, Sir, did thou now sow good seed in thy field? From whence then have it tares? And he said to them, an enemy has done this. The servant said unto him, wilt thou then that we go and gather them up? But he said, Nah, or nay, lest while ye gather up the tares, you root up also the wheat with them. Let them both grow together until the harvest. And in the time of the harvest, I will say to the reapers, gather ye together the first tares and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn. Now, when we jump down a little bit from there to the disciples, watch this. 13 and 36. Then Yahawashi sent the multitude away. So he gave that parable in front of all these people, right? All these people. And the disciples are there. And the Bible says now that he sent the multitude away, everybody else that was listening. And he went into the house. But look who comes. It says, and his disciples came, saying, declare unto us the parable of the tares of the field. This was his disciples, but they didn't have all the understanding either. They were standing there with the multitude. But what was the difference between the disciples and the multitude of people that left? They came to Yahawashi and said, hey, tell us what this means. We want to know, like she just said. If you lack some understanding and you feel that you are part of the elect, the chosen, and you are walking with the Most High and his only begotten Son, Hamashiach Yahawashi, who do you go to? You get on your knees. You pray to the Most High and say, Most High, I'm not really understanding this. Give me the understanding. Reveal to me the understanding of what I'm reading. This is why I always tell people before you open up the Bible to read, it's not a book. It's not a novel. It's not something you go to the store and just buy and you just, get you a cup of coffee and get you a blanket and curl up in the corner on the couch and you're like, I'm going to read this. No. Before you read the word, you need to go down on your knees if you're able, or pray to the Most High and ask him, please, look, I'm going into your word, Abba. Open up my understanding. Reveal your word to me. I am seeking and searching you out. So before you even open up his word, you have already prayed in the Rakah and asked the Rakah, the Kodash Rakah, to lead you. So you're not going into it on your own. You going into it with the Kodash Rakah, which is the Holy Spirit, which is the Spirit of truth. And this is what the disciples did. They came unto him saying, declare unto us the parable of the tares of the field. He answered and said unto them, he that soweth, he went right into it. He didn't hold back. He said, they want to know. All praises be to the Most High. They want to know what this means. The multitude just went away. They was content with what they heard, whether they understood or not. But see, the disciples, they wanted to know what it meant. And he answered and said unto them, he that soweth the good seed is the Son of Man. The field is the world. So now you know the field is considered what? The world. The good seed are the children of the kingdom. So now you know you have a good seed, which are the children of what? The kingdom. But the tares are the children of who? The wicked what? Satan, Hasatan. So yeah, you may think the parable is about wheat and tares, but really what is it about? It's about the children of the Most High, the children of the kingdom, and the children of who? Satan. If you didn't know Satan had children, you just learned that today. But yes, Satan has children. Just like the Most High has children. Verse 39, the enemy that sowed them is who? The devil, Hasatan. The harvest is the end of the world. And the reapers are who? The Malaks, the angels. Verse 40, as therefore the tares are gathered and burned in fire, meaning where they going to go? To the lake of fire, right? Because what? They're tares. They're Satan's children. That's where they're here. They're going to go to the lake of fire. But here's the kicker part. So shall it be at the end of the world. The Son of Man shall send forth his what? Malaks, They shall gather out of his kingdom. Notice he's saying out of his kingdom. Because where's his kingdom at? On the earth. Jerusalem, Zion. All things that offend, and them which do what? Iniquity, which is what? Lawlessness. That's what iniquity means, lawlessness. So anybody that's breaking the law of the Most High and that offend the Most High, they're going to be gathered where? Out of the kingdom. And they shall be what? Cast into the furnace of what? Fire. That's where they're going. They shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. Then shall the righteous shine forth as the sun in the kingdom, and their Father who have what? Ears to hear, let them hear. That's why he says, he's telling you, if you have ears to hear this, hear it. Understand it. But if you don't, hey, maybe you a child of Satan. Maybe you a tear. I don't know. But it's for whoever has ears to hear. This is what Hamashiach said. It's not me saying this. I wish everybody could hear. But when we read the word of the Most High, we see it was individuals that had children. They were righteous, but their children were evil. You don't think they wanted to save their children? You don't think they wanted to save their son? Or the son wanted to save his dad? Look at Abraham's father. Abraham's father was what? He was wicked. We talking about our father Abraham. This is why he had to leave his people. What did the Most High tell him? Hey, get away from your family. Get away from those people. Why? Because they're wicked. They worship other deities. And he had to leave everybody. The Most High is not a respecter person. He does not care because that's your child. He does not care because that's your mama. He does not care because that's your daddy. He doesn't care. He's not a respecter person. Be happy you are chosen. Be happy you are part of the elect, because you could be cast out just like them. That's why Hamashiach Yahawashi said, you can't love anybody more than you love me and the Father. Let me show you that. Matthew 10. Go there with me real quick. Matthew 10 and 34. And then we'll move on to this last one, this dark saying. Matthew 10 and 34. Let me see. Let me check the chat. Sister Adriana put fire. She put the prayer hands. Sister Dorothy said, Barak be Yahawah Ba'Hashem Yahawashi Mashiach Khan. She also put Khan. I just want to make sure I ain't missing nothing. Khan. Okay, all Khan. Right? Now, Matthew 10 and 34 says, think not that I come to send peace on the earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. Everybody wants peace on the earth. That's what they protest about. That's what they march about. That's what they make their signs and banners about. But our brother, the one who died for our sins, said he didn't come for peace. He came to bring the sword. For I come to set a man. Let me do this. I want to make it as plain as day. Plain as possible. I'm going to even go to the New Living. Right here, right? I'm going to start at 34 again. This is in a New Living Translation. It says, don't imagine that I come to bring peace to the earth. I came not to bring peace, but a sword. Verse 35, I have come to set a man against his father, a daughter against her mother, a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. So you as the mother, you might believe in the Most High Yahawah, but your daughter may not. You as a son might believe in the Most High Yahawah, but your father or your dad does not, and vice versa. The daughter-in-law against the mother-in-law, it says your enemies, the ones that are going to hate you, because that's what an enemy is, the ones that dislike you, the ones that hate you, it says they will be what? Your enemies will be right in your own household. You ain't got to look far. You ain't got to go around the corner. You ain't got to go out looking for somebody to hate you. One of your enemies. No, it says they're going to be right in your own house. Why? Because you as the mom might believe in the Most High Yahawah. Like I just said, or like the Bible says, your daughter might not believe. Your son might not believe. The daughter-in-law might believe, and the mother-in-law might not believe. There's always going to be a separation and a division when it comes to the Most High. And he's telling you your enemies are going to be in your own household. Now, is this something in the New Testament? No, you can see it on the screen. It says this was in the book of Micah, chapter 7, verse 6. This is prophecy. Understand everything that Yahawashi is saying. These are prophecy. This stuff has to be fulfilled. Then he goes on in 37 and says, if you love your father or mother more than you love me, you are not worthy of being mine. Because some people are going to love their mama more. They're going to be like, forget Yahawashi. I love my mama. I don't care what he said. I love my daddy. I don't care what Hamashiach did for me and what he says. I love my mama and my daddy. And if that's wrong, then oh well. Then he says right here, or if you love your son or daughter more than me, you are not worthy of being me. Because there's going to be some parents who love their son or their daughter more than they love Hamashiach. He's trying to give you a separation and separate you, and you still going trying to, well, that's my son and that's my daughter. He just says, okay, no problem. You're not worthy of being with me then. If that's what you choose, fine. Verse 38, if you refuse to take up your cross and follow me, basically what he's saying right here is what? If you refuse to follow what I'm telling you and what I'm saying and walk in the statutes and laws that I'm telling you and I'm giving you and take up your cross and follow me, he tells you again, you're not worthy of being with me. Because you are in emotions, you in your feelings, you in your opinion, and you think you know best when he already done told you, I'm going to separate these people from you. Imagine Abraham, when the Most High told Abraham, hey, separate yourself from your family, your father, all your friends, your relatives. And Abraham said, no, I love my father Terah. And like, no, I can't leave him. Well, Abraham would have never been what he was. When he said, hey, you need to go kill your son, sacrifice Isaac for me. And he said, no, I love Isaac. I can't do that. Well, Abraham would have never received the promise that he was going to receive because he loved what? His son more. Which would have made him what? Not worthy of being part of the Most High. But that wasn't the case. When Abraham was told to leave, what did he do? He gathered all his stuff and he left. When the Most High come and said, hey, sacrifice your only son, Isaac, he said, okay. He went up to the mountain to sacrifice him. Nothing came before the Most High. Nothing. 39, he says, if you cling to your life, you will lose it. You're trying to hold your life together. You're trying to hold little pieces, this, that. When he trying to separate stuff, you trying to hold on to it. You clinging to it. He said, you're going to lose it. But if you give up your life for me, you give up what you desire, what you want to do, what you like to do. And I know it hurt. It's hard. It really not. But since we are fleshly, we're emotional, we in our opinion, we in our desires, we think about like, man, I want to go do that, or I want to. But he says, if you give that stuff up for me, Then you will truly find it. Verse 40, anyone who receives you receives me, and anyone who receives me receives the Father who sent me. So when you receive Hamashiach Yahushua and you listen to what he's saying, you're really receiving who? The Father. Because these are not his words. These are the Father's words. The Father told him to say this stuff. Verse 41, if you receive a prophet as one who speaks for the Most High, you will be given the same reward as a prophet. And if you receive righteous people because they are righteous, you will be given a reward like theirs. So hopefully you understand that, you know. And I know it's a hard saying. It is. It's hard to separate from people that you have a connection with. That's your family, your mom and your dad, or your son or your daughter, or friends, family, whatever. It's not an easy thing. I don't want to just like, dang, he just said like that. It's like it's so easy, but that's my mama, or that's my daddy, you know, or that's my son, or that's my daughter. It's hard. It's hard for everybody. But that's what you're sacrificing for the kingdom. You want to get to the kingdom. Everybody wants to go to the kingdom of heaven, but they're not willing to sacrifice. And in order to get to the kingdom, he's telling you, well, you're going to have to sacrifice this. And we see that through the writings, like I just said, with Abraham having to sacrifice what? His own son. There's always a sacrifice. And right now, since Yahawashi died for us already, what is our sacrifice? Well, we get it right here in Romans 12. Romans 12:1. It says, and do so, brothers and sisters, I plead with you to give your bodies to the Most High, because all he has done for you. That's what he's saying. Let them be a living and Quadash sacrifice. What? Your body. The kind he will find acceptable, meaning you did everything that he told you to do, and you sacrificed your body. Whatever it was he told you to do, you did it. You didn't put nothing in front of him. If anything came between you and him, you put that, whatever it was, to the side, and you stayed focused on the Most High Yahweh. It says, this is truly the way to what? Worship him. This is the only way to worship the Most High. It's the only way. Is it hard? Yes, it's hard, because the Most High wants to see your sacrifice for him. Because of what? For all he has done already. This is what Paul says right here. Of all he has done for you. Hamashiach Yahushua coming here, walking here, shedding his blood for you, hung on the tree for you. He sent his son for you. And you won't present your body as a sacrifice? Verse 2, it says, don't copy the behavior and customs of this world, but let the Most High transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. Yeah, you may not have wanted to leave your mom or your dad by the way you used to think, but now with the Most High, you understand like, hey, this is something I got to do. If I plan to go to the kingdom of heaven, Shemayim, I have to do this. It says right here in this last part, then will you learn to know Elohim's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect. That's the will that he has for you. Remember, your mother is just the one who birthed you out of her canal, out of her womb. She is not the one who gave you life. The Most High gave you life. Your dad didn't give you life. The Most High gave you life. The perception of what we have and thinking like, oh, that's my mama. Oh, that's my daddy. Oh, that's my son. Oh, that's my... Man, you have to understand, like I just read the parable, there are wheat and there are tares. Satan has children and the Most High has children. And you don't know who is a wheat and you don't know who is a tare. Hamashiach Yahushua said, let both of them grow together into the end of the world. So you don't know. Your mama could be a tare. Your daddy could be a tare. Or she could be a wheat, or he could, you don't know. Or you could be a tear. You just don't know. With that being said, hopefully I covered all of that. Now let's get into this last part where the darkest chapter of the Bible was hid. Turn there with me, the people who have it. And this is where we're going to finish off at. Turn here with me. 2nd Ezra, the King James Bible. But you do need a 1611. The first Bible, English Bible that was printed. You need the 1611 King James Bible. Why do you need that? Because they took these books out. In 1865, the Protestant church took out, I believe it was 14 books out of the King James Bible. Let me see if I can pull that up on the screen real quick. 2nd Ezra chapter 14. Okay, let me share this real quick. Let me share this. I just want to show you. I just pulled it up just real quick, and I just show it real quick. Now we already know in the book of Revelation and in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4, verse 2, right? It says no man could add or take away from the word of the Most High, from the Bible. So it says right here, the 14 books, collectively known as the Apocrypha, were removed from the Protestant Bibles during the Protestant Reformation, right? With Martin Luther, right? Like Martin Luther separated these writings from the main text, and the British and the Foreign Bible Society officially excluded them in 1826. So they were in the Bible all this time. Everybody else had read it in the Bible all this time. But when Martin Luther came along, right? This is where you get the Lutheran church from. He decided, and other people decided, the Protestant church, which are where all the churches that you see in America come from, whether it's non-denomination, Baptist, Methodist, no matter what it is, it all derives from the Protestant church. Because before that, it was nothing but the Catholic Church. There was no other churches. So they got taken out in 1826. In the Bible that you have today, the King James Bible that you have today does not have those 14 books. That's why you have to go back prior. And this is why I say get you a 1611, which is before 1826, and then you will have these books. Who? Septuagint, Khan, which is even further back, right? The Codex Sinaiticus, if I'm pronouncing that right. We have parchments, we have paper, we have, what's the one that you wanted to go see at the museum? The Dead Sea Scrolls. We have a lot of different things. They go way back, right? So, let's go here. And like I said, I already been showing you that this is for those who have ears to hear. Is this for everybody? Of course not. And the reason I'm going to tell you that is going to show you that in this very chapter. So there are going to be people that are here or listening to it or listen to it at a later time and say, oh, no, I don't believe that. I don't think that. Well, think what you want. This is what's written. 2nd Ezra. And I'm gonna need your help with these names in verse 24. Verse 1. And it came to pass upon the 3rd day, I sat under an oak, and behold, there came a voice out of a bush over against me, and said, Ezra, Ezra. And I said, here I am, Adon. And I stood up upon my feet. Then said he unto me, in the bush, I did manifestly reveal myself unto Moses and talk with him when my people served in Egypt. So we know we're talking about the Most High because he's referring to the bush that Moses dealt with, the burning bush. So we know we're talking about the Most High Yahweh, right? Verse 4. I sent him and led my people out of Egypt and brought him up to the mount of where I held him by me a long season and told him many wondrous things, and showed him the secrets of the time and the end, and commanded him, saying, now before we leave verse 5, read that for yourself real quick on the screen. Verse 5. So it says in verse 5, he showed Moses secret times. Salakia, secrets of the time, the water. And then right here, it says, and the end. So Moses saw the end of the world. He knew about the end of the world. So if Moses was told, showed, and knew the end of the world, and if he knew the commandments were going to be done away with, what sense did it make to come down the mountain and give the people the commandments and they were going to be done away with at a period of time when he already knew and was showed what was going to happen at the end of the world? That lets you know that's the reason why he gave the people the commands, because he knew from that time all the way to the end of the world, you will need this. This is something that you will need. This is why he says, choose what? Life. I set before you this day life and death, good and evil, because he knew the end. Verse 6. These words shalt thou declare, and these shalt thou hide. See, it's not for everybody. And now I say unto thee, verse 8, let me pull it up, that thou lay up in thy heart the signs that I have showed or shewed you, and dreams that thou hast seen, and the interpretations which thou hast heard. So Ezra had got some dreams. They had been broken down for him. He interpreted for him. He gave him all that he need. Verse 9, for thou shalt be taken away from all, and from henceforth thou shalt remain with my son, and with such as be like thee until the time be ended. So the Most High through the Malak is telling Ezra, look, you finna leave this earth. You finna come with me. Matter of fact, you're gonna be with my son, Hamashiach Yahushua. He's telling him, you're gonna be with my son, and you're gonna be like with everybody that's like you, the one who walked for Hamashiach Yahushua, the elect, as we say, until he comes back to the earth. That's what's being revealed here. For those who have an ear to hear, please hear. Please. This is what's being revealed. Verse 10. The world has lost his youth. Can you give me a napkin, please, a tissue or something? The world has lost his youth, and the times beginning to wax old. So we know we're in the latter days. I read it earlier, and I said I was going to show you for those that were here. I said, I'm going to show you in the Bible that, yes, we are in the latter days. There's no denying that. The Bible is telling us when he's speaking to Ezra, which were thousands of years ago. This is before Hamashiach came and walked the earth. This is before. It said the world has lost his youth already. Salakia. The world has lost its youth, and the times begin to wax old. Verse 11. For the world is divided into 12 parts, 12 parts. And the 10th part of it,
And half of the 10 part.
no, that's the last part of it. I'm right up here. And the 10 parts of it are gone already. And half of the 10th part. So if it's 12 parts, which represents the 12 tribes of Israel, at this time that the Most High is speaking to Ezra, he's telling Ezra half of the 10th part is already gone. So all you really have is 11 and 12 left. That's it. And the end is coming. So we're at the latter end. We're at the end of it. These are not my words. This is what the Most High is telling Ezra, the prophet, the priest. He's telling him right then when he's talking to him, half of the 10th part with him is already gone. So all you have is 11 and 12 remaining. And there remaineth that which is after the half of the 10th part. Verse 13. Now therefore, set thy house in order. He's telling him to get his house in order. Get yourself right. Get your family right. And reprove thy people. Comfort such of them as be in trouble. And now renounce corruption. What does he mean to renounce corruption? What does that statement mean? What is the Most High saying when he's telling Ezra to renounce corruption? What corrupts? What is corruption? What decays? Your flesh. This life. This world. When he says that now renounce corruption, he's saying renounce this world. Everything in it. Everything that it has to deal with. Everything that's a part of this world, renounce it. Because you're about to go to the spirit now. You finna go to the Rakah. You finna pass on, and now you finna come to real life. And the real life has nothing to do with this life that you live in here in this fleshly body. It's totally different. You might say, well, how do you know that? Well, in the very next verse, it tells us. Verse 14. Let go from the mortal thoughts. Mortal is fleshly. That's living in your flesh. He's telling you, let go from those fleshly thoughts, those opinions, as I read in Matthew 10. Oh, that's my mama. Oh, that's my daddy. Oh, well, what about this? Or what about that? Let go of those mortal thoughts. You are a spiritual being now. You are living in the Rakah, the Quadash Rakah. And he's telling Ezra, let go from mortal thoughts. Cast away the burdens of man. See, those are burdens of man and burdens of women. When you start to think about things of this world, put off now the weak nature, letting you know that the flesh is what? Weak. Hamashiach Yahushua said that. He said what? The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is what? Weak. So we know that the Most High is talking about what? Put off that weak nature, which is what? Flesh. He's trying to prepare Ezra to get ready to go to the spirit world. And he's giving us information through this to tell us, because things that are written aforetime for our learning, Romans 15 and 4, he's telling us now to get rid of what? That weak nature, that weak flesh. Those mortal thoughts that you're holding on to, man, get rid of that. Verse 15, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee. Whatever's weighing on you, real heavy, in its flesh, he telling you, man, set that to the side because it's worthless when you get over here. It doesn't mean anything. It's weighing on you now here in the flesh, but when you go to the spirit, it's meaningless because now you're on the other side and you understand and you see. He says, and haste thee to flee from these times. 16. For yet greater evil than those which thou have seen happen shall be done hereafter. So there's going to be even more evil, which we know and we have seen. Remember, this is written thousands of years ago. Verse 17. For look now how much the world shall be weaker through age. And we know it has gotten weaker because, once again, this was written thousands of years ago before even Yahawashi walked the earth. So the world is even weaker now than it was then. So much the more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein. I mean, we know evils have increased. For those, the children of the Most High that walk with him and his only begotten son, Hamashiach Yahushua, we know you can't even say anything that represents the Most High and good here in this earth without being cast down and looked upon. Why? Because evil is considered good and good is considered evil in this time that we live in today. Verse 18. For the time is fled far away, and leasing is hard at hand. For now hasteth the vision to come, which thou hast seen. So Ezra had a vision. That's why I broke it all down with the foundation, starting off in Genesis 37, Jeremiah, Numbers, about what? These dreams and these visions. Same thing Ezra had. He had a vision. Verse 19. Then answered I before thee and said, now this is Ezra speaking. This is Ezra asking something. This is what he's going to say. Behold, Adon, I will go as thou hast commanded me and reprove the people which are present. So the people that are here with me, I'm going to go and command them as you have commanded me. But they that shall be born after, who shall admonish them? Meaning, if you don't know what the word admonish, it means to warn. All praises be to the Most High that we had our people back then, our forefathers back then, that was concerned about us. Then they wasn't selfish, because Ezra is like, okay, I got it. And the people that are here with me today, they're going to get it because I'm going to tell them. But what about the people that are not born yet? How are they going to be warned? It says, thus the world is set in what? Darkness. Even then the world was in wickedness and darkness. So you know it's more in darkness and wickedness now. And they that dwell therein are without light. There's no light in this earth. Verse 21, for thy law is burnt. Therefore no man knoweth the things that are done of thee, or the work that shall begin. But if I have found grace before thee, send the Quadash Rakah, the Holy Spirit, into me. A lot of people, especially in Christianity, they think the Holy Spirit just showed up all of a sudden at Pentecost in Acts chapter 2. No. Moses had the Holy Spirit. Joshua had it. Ezra had it. And many others. It just didn't show up all of a sudden. It has always been there. And Ezra is asking for it. He says, if I have found grace before thee, send the Quadash Rakah into me, and I shall write all that have been done in the world since the beginning, which were written in thy law, that men may find thy path. Oh, so we need these things that are written in the law to find our path. But if you're telling me in 2026, that the law is done away with, then how can I ever find my path to get to the kingdom of the Shemayim? How can I find the kingdom of heaven and find my path if the law is done away with? And that they which live in the latter days may live. And we are in the latter days, as he's saying right here. Verse 23. And he answered me. So now this is the Most High speaking, saying, go thy way, gather the people together, and say unto them that they seek thee not 40 days. Tell the people, don't come looking for you for 40 days. Verse 24. Now, these names I need a little help with. Go ahead. But look, thou prepare thee many box trees, and take with thee, go ahead.
Saria, Dabria, Selenia, Uranus, and Asiel.
These 5, which are ready to write swiftly. Hopefully you heard the names. So he told Ezra, go get 5 more men. Why? Because these men are going to write for you swiftly. Everything that you say, everything that comes out of your mouth, these men are going to write for you. So Ezra was so concerned about us as his people that he wanted us to have this knowledge to find our path and our way in the light that's in this world to come back to the Most High. All praises. And you want to know why they took these books out? There's many more. It's more than just this one. But I'm showing you that there are many more as we continue to read. Verse 25, and come hither, and I shall light a candle of understanding in thy heart, which shall not be put out till the things be performed which thou shalt begin to write. So the Most High is going to give him all this wisdom, all this understanding. So do you need to go to theology school to understand the word of the Bible, the word of the Most High? No. Do you need to go to a university for 10 years, 6 years, 4 years, 3 years to understand the word of the Most High? No. Do you need to go to any man and bow down to him to get the word of the Most High, have an understanding of the Most High? No. Who do you need to go to? The Most High. Who can give you the wisdom, the understanding? The Most High. Verse 26. And when thou hast done, some things shalt thou publish, and some things shalt thou show secretly to the wise. That's why I don't tell people everything and I don't show people everything, because some people get on here and they like, oh, I never read that book. It ain't in the Bible. Well, you don't know that they took out books in the Bible. They had many councils to know what they were going to put in and what they were going to take out. Men, not even Israelite men, men of other nations.
But even
Go ahead.
Even there is a scripture of the Most High stating how many books are to be shown and to what type of people they can be shown to. So there are books out there that people will probably refute because it's not meant for their eyes to have seen those books anyway.
Correct.
I don't recall which scripture it was.
Well, we're going to read it right here. It's one in here.
I know.
But like she just said, that there are books that people, when you bring them out, they like, oh, no, that's not. No, but it's not for you.
I said it was books that the Most High.
She said it's books that the Most High said
to hide these away.
To hide these books away and show these only to who? The wise.
Right.
So not everybody is going to get it. That's why when I bring out certain books, you know, certain people will be like, oh, no, that ain't in there. And I don't. Okay. But when you do the research, you will find out that a lot of these books, people in the 1st century, 2nd century, 3rd century, 4th century, 5th century, 6th century, 7th century, on down, they read these books. Matter of fact, they read these books more than you read the books that are written or that are in the Bible now. But because they took these out and people, men came along and said, oh, no, you know, don't read that. You believe it.
You got water in that bottle?
A little bit. It's pretty much gone.
You want another one?
Yeah. The water. Verse 27. It says, then went I forth as he commanded, and gathered all the people together, and said, hear these words, O Israel. Our fathers at the beginning were strangers in Egypt, from whence they were delivered, and received the law of life. So how can you say the law is done away with, and it's the law of life? This is what's going to give you life. So if you are in any church out there, any congregation out there, any camp out there, any household out there, and they telling you that the law is done away with, don't hearken to the law, then they're telling you not to take life, and they're giving you death. That's what they're serving to you, death. Verse 30 says, and received the law of life, which they kept not, which ye also have transgressed after them. Verse 31. Then was the land, and even the land of Zion, parted among you by lot. But your fathers and ye yourselves have done unrighteousness, and have not kept the ways which the highest commanded you. And for as much as he is a righteous judge, he took from you in time the thing that he had given you, the land, the promised land. And now are ye here, and your brethren among you. Anybody know anything about Ezra? They were in captivity. Ezra didn't get freed out of captivity until who? King Cyrus. When he allowed, where the Most High put it inside of King Cyrus to allow for the children of Judah to go back. Well, not only Judah, but Judah, Benjamin, and Levi to go back to build the temple. You can read that in Ezra and Nehemiah. Verse 34. Therefore, if so be that ye will subdue your own understanding. You have to subdue your own understanding. What does it mean to subdue? You need to overcome your own understanding, meaning your emotion, your opinion, what you think. Proverbs 16:5. There is a way to seem right to a man, but in the end it leads to destruction. Proverbs 3:5. Do not lean on what? Your understanding. Trust in the Most High Yahawah, because if you lean on your understanding, it's going to have you going down the wrong way, the wrong path. So it says right here that you have to what? Subdue your own understanding and reform your hearts. Why? Because your heart is deceitfully wicked. Jeremiah 17:9. Deceitfully wicked. And let's be honest, we should know that, right? We know. All you got to do is go to Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 9, and you will see it. You will see it. Let me make sure I didn't miss nothing. Let me check the chat.
Sister Dorothy put First Maccabees chapter 3 verse 48. And laid open the books of the law wherein
the heathen
had sought to paint the likeness of
their image. Con. That's another hidden book. First Maccabees, right? That's another hidden book that they took out because they don't want you to know that the heathen did what? They painted their images in the word of the Most High. The same images we have today, right? Another one, First Maccabees, chapter 3.
It's the same one, it's just the revised standard.
Okay, the same one.
And
yeah.
Then, she said, Khan, the Most High revealed the end from the beginning, amazing.
Khan.
And then she said, I sincerely hope all will be well with us when we get to the other side.
I truly hope so too, sister. When we get to that other side, I hope all is well with us. She said, Khan, so much evil. It's hard to keep up with it all too much. Khan. And the sister Adriana, go ahead.
How Yahweh that day thought about us who came later.
Khan. And Mayana Pasha, you said what? That's why you gotta.
That's why you gotta worry about yourself and make sure you are right. Yeah.
Khan. And that's true. That's true. You know, the water for those comments, you know, and that's all true. Like I say, the water for those Ahchyam, those forefathers, those ancient back then, especially like Ezra and everybody else, that they wrote these things down for us. So we have to subdue our own understanding and reform your hearts. Why? Because we know the heart is deceitfully wicked. It says, ye shall be kept alive after death. We'll read it one more time. Ye shall be kept alive, and after death, ye shall obtain mercy. You will obtain mercy if you hearken, if you listen. Right here, verse 35, for after death shall the judgment come. He's telling you. I don't care what somebody else tell you in this world. If you believe somebody else in this world, people, then you just believe them. I'm going to believe what the words say. It tells me that after I die, after I go to sleep and leave this earth, that's when the judgment is going to come. What judgment? For everything I've done in this body. I'm going to believe it. I'm not going to believe you, some random person, and say they don't believe in the Most High. They don't care what the Bible say. It was written by man. It was written by a white man. It was written by, I don't care. You have your every right to believe that. If that's what you believe it. I'm going to believe what the word of the Most High have said from the prophets, the ancients, the Zaquan, from the beginning. And it says right there in 35, for after death shall the judgment come, when we shall live again, and then shall the names of the righteous be manifest, and the works of the ungodly shall be declared. Let no man therefore come unto me now, nor seek after me these 40 days. So I took the 5 men as he commanded me, and we went into the field and remained there. And the next day, behold, a voice called me, saying, Ezra, open thy mouth and drink that I give thee to drink. What is one of the first things that I said, remember? One of the first things that I said, remember. We talked about dreams, we talked about visions, but when we came to this part, I said, remember the fire. The fire. He said his word is like a what? Fire. YAHAWAH HaMashiach, he said he's going to immerse you in what? Baptize you in what? The fire, which is the word of the Most High. Ezra is telling us right here that a voice called unto him and said, open up your mouth and drink this. Verse 39, then I opened my mouth and beheld, he reached me a full cup, which was full as it were with water. What water? The living water. But the color of it was what? Like fire. These were the very words of the Most High Yahweh. That fire. That fire. His word is what? Fire. Verse 40. And I took it and I drank it. And when I had drunk of it, my heart uttered understanding. Now we talking about a priest right here. We talking about a prophet. We talking about a priest. We talking about a man of the Most High Yahweh. And he was all those things before he drank this cup. Before he drank the cup. He was already a priest. He was already a prophet. But yet we see that he didn't have complete understanding. He only had this complete understanding and wisdom when the Most High gave him that wisdom and understanding. When he drank from what? That cup. He says his heart uttered understanding and wisdom grew in my breast. For my Rikah, my spirit, the Rikah, strengthened my memory. Now he started to remember all of these different things before he even came into the earth. before he was even in that body. And my mouth was open and shut no more. So now he's just talking. He's going now. You know how somebody, we say they just be talking, they just be, what's that word? Yeah, but it's a word. Like they it was a word I was looking for. Ben, they long-winded. They just going. His mouth was open and shut no more. Why? Because these men had to write now. The highest gave me understanding unto the 5 men, and they wrote the wonderful visions of the night that were told, which they knew not. They didn't know. They were just writing. And they sat 40 days, and they wrote in the day, and at night they ate bread. As for me, I spake in the day, and I held not my tongue by night. I wish I was there. I wish I could have heard all this stuff, boy. Oh, I wish I could have heard it. 44. In 40 days, they wrote 204 books. Uh-oh. You only got 66 in your King James Bible. You only got 66 in your King James Bible. Ezra say he wrote 204 books.
And how many is in the King James?
80.
80.
80.
So that means they're still missing.
Yeah. Even in the 1611, there's only 80.
Yeah.
Ezra say he wrote 204 books. So we missing a lot of information. There's a lot of information that these people have hid from us. This is why, for those that were here in the beginning, like I said, I'm going to play it at the end. The video that I showed, Psalms 83, they have taken crafty counsel and they have hid these books. Why do you think, what is that place called in the Vatican? They call it a library. What is it where they have all of the stuff, the ancient writings and the books and the texts? The vault. The vault, right? They say, oh, it's hidden in the vault in the Vatican. And they say that thing run for miles and miles and miles and miles and miles. What's hidden in there? What books? What books did you guys hide in there that you don't want the people to know? It says that he wrote 204 books. So if you think you got all that you need to know in the 66 or the 80, 1611 King James Bible, you're sadly mistaken. You're sadly mistaken. Verse 45. And it came to pass when the 40 days were fulfilled that the highest, the most high, Yahawah, spake, saying, the first that thou hast written, publish openly, that the worthy and the unworthy may read it. So yeah, you can go to Barnes and Nobles, you can go to any bookstore, you can go to Target, Walmart, Dollar Tree, whatever you got, Piggly Wiggly, whatever you got, and you go buy a Bible with the 66 books. You know why? Because that's for the worthy and that's for the unworthy to read. Everybody can read that. Anybody can go inside the store and purchase that and buy that. That's for the worthy and unworthy. But keep the 70 last, that thou mayest deliver them only such as be wise among the people. There are certain books that only the wise that are among the people are going to read. There'll be people that are on the earth that will never, ever, ever read those books. Why? Because they wasn't wise. Only the wise would search out those books. But be careful, because Satan knows this. Ahchwathyam knows this. So what has he done? He wrote books too. Just like the wheat and the tares. The parable. What did he say? The enemy has done this. So if the Most High wrote books and he left books, you don't think that Satan, Ahchwathyam, he went and wrote books too? To what? Bring confusion. He wanted to bring confusion. So be careful what you read. Be careful what you get your hands on, because not everyone is sent from the Most High. Satan has books too. 47. For in them is the spring of understanding, the fountain of wisdom. Where's the fountain of wisdom? It's in those books that are only delivered to who? The wise. Uh-oh. So your Christian pastor that's reading out of the 66 that ain't never read no other books, does he have the fountain of wisdom? Is he wise? You have to ask yourself these things. That he went to theology school and they only taught him out of the 66 books and he has a degree and he feel like he's wise and educated? No. I didn't write this. This is not what I feel. This is not my opinion. This is what the Most High has delivered to us through his word. It says in verse 47, for in them is the spring of understanding, the fountain of wisdom, and the stream of knowledge. And I do so.
I did so.
Salakia, I did so. And I do so. He did it, and I'm doing it right here, right now, delivering it to you. And like the Aqua of Dorothy put in there are many more. The Maccabees, Wisdom of Solomon.
Sister Dorothy said, Sister Adriana had said, I heard the Vatican has a bunch of our books. Sister Dorothy said, Europe has a bunch of books, photos, etc. But the Most High will reveal everything we need to know. They cannot hide the truth no matter how hard they try. And
what does this say? Celtic spirit.
Oh, I had already timed them out.
Oh, okay, cool. They gone?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then she said, Khan, but everyone won't understand it.
Wait a minute. Let me pull it on the screen. Let me find where you at.
At Sister Dorothy, everyone won't follow the book's instructions.
Oh, okay. So the Europe thing, okay, way down here. Okay, Khan, but everyone won't understand it, Khan. And like I say, as I got started on this, that's why I set the foundation before we even went to this. I started way in Genesis and we went through the Bible. I laid the foundation and then I came to this. And like the sister Adriana that's in here, she said, is this for the elect? Yes. Not everybody, as she says right here, will understand this. The sister Dorothy says, calm, but everyone won't understand it. No, they won't. It is only given to the wise. You see it here on the screen. I left it up. Let me read it again. 46. But keep the 70 last, that thou mayest deliver them only to such as be wise among you. Letting you know it's not for everybody. Not everybody will understand it. It's only for the wise. That's why some people, they only have the 66 books. The King James Bible that they buy at Walmart or Dollar Tree or Barnes and Nobles or Piggly Wiggly, whatever you have. Savon's, Kroger, wherever you at where you buy your Bible, that's as far as people go, to the 66. They never get to the 80. They never get beyond that. Why? Because those certain things are set aside for the wise. All praises be to the Most High that the sisters and the brothers that are in here, they have that understanding and it's revealed to you, and you have that understanding that, hey, you can go into these other books that are written and you grab that wisdom and understanding that's in there, and you are immersed in more of the Most High's word. Because he tells us in 47, for in them is the spring of understanding, the fountain of wisdom, and the stream of knowledge. So yeah, you're 100% correct, sister. Not everybody will understand it. And then she says, and everyone won't follow the book's instructions. Come on. She also says, and that's the biggest part, obeying the book. Shake my head. More confusion than any of us can imagine. The rabbit hole is deep. Shake my head. Like I said, just because I am bringing out and I am showing you, yes, there are other books that are out there, that are written, that are for our understanding, but it is only for the wise. And like I just said, Satan, the devil, the deceiver, the serpent, he knows these things too. As I read to you in the parable, the wheat and the tares. So if he knows that there are books out there with this wisdom that will make you wise and give you a stream of knowledge, he went and wrote books too. So be careful what you get your hands on and make sure that it's from the Most High. But you need that discernment before you can even get there to read these type of things. So yes, you know, I agree with you 100%, sister, 100%. She also says, I don't want any bootleg pastor. Verse, Brother Timothy, go ahead. He said, Jeremiah 1:5. This is how the Most High feel about us. Come, let me get it real quick, because he just put the scripture. Let me, huh?
I said I have it over here.
Oh, you got it? Let me just pull it on the screen and then you can read it. Let me get it. Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5. Go ahead.
Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee, and before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations.
That's why when somebody asks me, and I can only speak of myself, they say, what happened? What made you want to serve the Most High? What made you this? What made you that? Man, I didn't have no choice. I was already ordained before I was put in my mama's womb, before the foundations of the earth. He says, I already ordained you a shepherd, a prophet, a minister. I have already called you for that. I showed you that in John 6:44. It was impaled in me already. So, all praises be to the Most High, right? It says, Shalawam, King. Happy rest day, Khan. All praises be to you. All praises be to the Most High, Shalawam, for being here, tuning in. Now, Short said, Mr. Prove all things, Khan. I'm trying to see what the little thing says. I think it's Hebrew on there, if I'm not mistaken. But Shalawam, King. Peace and blessings to you and yours. The brother Timmy says that support when you said a little earlier to the sister's question. Predestination, who he calls. Everybody that's here, everybody that's tuned in here is already part of the elect and call. You wouldn't be here. You wouldn't have the understanding. You would have clicked off a long time ago. A long time ago, especially on this class. This class right here is for the elect. It's for the chosen. It's for the predestinated ones. So if you didn't have the understanding, you would have clicked off a long time ago. You would have been like, I don't understand what that man is saying. So the sister Dorothy says, Shabbat Shalom to everybody again. Timothy, he says, Shalom, sister Dorothy. And then he says, Shalawam family, to everybody in the chat, to all of the Ahchyam, the Ahchwathyam. If you don't know what that is, that's Hebrew for the brothers and sisters, right? Scattered to the four corners of the earth. We say peace and blessings. Shalom, Shalawam to everybody. And the water, thank you so much for being here. All praises to the Most High for allowing us to be able to get this message, get this word out. The water, right? And just remember, like we said earlier, that heart, let's get that real quick, is desperately what? Wicked, man. You know, I just want to show that because I had said it earlier, 17:9. You know, Jeremiah 17:9. So just be careful And this is why you need the discernment of the Most High, because it said the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? I, Yahawah, search the heart. I try the reins, even to give every man according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doings. So remember that. Remember that. Listen, this was a powerful message through the Spirit, through the Rakah of the Most High. Mr. Prove All Things says Shabbat Shalawam fam. All praises to Wada for joining us. If anybody has anything that they want me to bring out before we close out, anything, put it in the chat. Any scripture, any verse, anything you want to bring out to better edify, help edify even more with everything that was brought out today, put it in the chat and we'll bring it out. You know, I read Jeremiah 17:9 a minute ago about the heart deceitful. Yeah, it didn't show? No, yeah. Yeah. I read 17:9 and 17:10 about the Most High. So just understand that there are other books out there, but do I encourage everybody to go read all the books that are out there? No, I do not. You have to have a solid foundation. You have to have foundations built on that rock, you know, so it's good to start with the 66 right here, the regular. And then if you can move to the 1611 to the 80, and if you feel like you know, once you build that foundation, if you feel like you want to go to other ones, like we have another book here, it says the complete 54 book Apocrypha, as you can see it on the screen right there. And then she said they have another one that says 100 book Apocrypha. But don't go into these type of things, as you see on the screen. I don't encourage you to go into these things unless you have the wisdom and understanding of the Most High. First, go with the 66, the regular one, the Holy Bible, 66, Old and New Testament. Then once you get that down and you feel like you're on a solid foundation, go ahead and get you a 1611 so you can have the Apocrypha. And then if you get that down through the Spirit, through the Rakah of the Most High, the Holy Spirit, then you can move on, but only through the Holy Spirit. You start trying to do things on your own, you're going to be lost. Let me go to Proverbs real quick. I'm going to show you 2 in the book of Proverbs real quick. And then we're going to show that video. Don't leave, because I want to show you that video to show you that these people have taken crafty counsel. Proverbs 16 real quick. Right here, 16 and 25, right? This is Proverbs 16 and 25. There is a way that seemeth right unto a man, but in the end thereof are the ways of death. So you want to be on that solid foundation. Even Hamashiach Yahushua tells us that. Let me see, what's that? Matthew 7, let me see. 2 foundations. I'm sorry if I'm moving fast. I'm sorry. Let me slow down, because, you know, sometimes I just get to moving fast and stuff. So let me slow down some. So this is Matthew chapter 7, verse 24. It says, therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine, which we brought out today, and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man, which built his house upon a rock. And rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat upon that house, and it fell not, for it was founded on a rock, or Salakia, upon a rock. Now, for those who know, who is the rock? Yahawah is the rock. Of course, Yahawah came in his name, so he says he's the rock, but it's the Father that's the rock. 26, and everyone that heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them not shall be likened unto a foolish man, which built his house upon a sand. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell. And great was the fall of it. And it came to pass, when Yahawah had ended these things, the people were astonished at his doctrine. For he taught them as one having authority, and not as the scribes. So I'm not going to teach like these pastors, these people in the church, people in the camp, people in congregations. No. I'm going to preach the word just like Hamashiach YAHAWAH did. So make sure you build yours on what? A solid foundation. And the last one I got is Proverbs 3 and 5. And it says right here, Proverbs 3 and 5, trust in Yahweh with all thy heart and lean not unto thy own understanding. Please don't lean onto your own understanding, but trust in the Most High Yahweh. That's all I got. You got something? Mr. Prove All Things said, you ever heard of a spiritual dictionary? No, I haven't. I've never heard of a spiritual dictionary. That would be the first time I've heard that. I would be more interested. Email me if you can. More information on that. But I've never heard of a spiritual dictionary. But I'm really interested to see. Right? You say you had a scripture. What you want to bring out? What you want to bring out?
Romans chapter 12, verse 1 and 2. And this is in regards to
Romans 12.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's in regards to like there's plenty of videos and people who go to church, and like there's many different views when it comes to the Bible. And how people put videos out and they may be Christian and they may sound good and things like that. But it's important that you don't let your emotions take a hold of what you're hearing to make you think that what you're hearing is correct.
Correct.
Because that can put you in a really bad spot to where you were on a good foundation, now you're on a rocky foundation, because now you're not stable because you're believing something else that you done heard someone else say when they don't even believe the same thing that you believe. So you shouldn't let that waver in your foundation and believing in the Most High Yahweh and His Son YAHAWAH.
Beautifully put. Beautifully put.
So number one.
You want to read it or you want me to read it?
You can read it.
Romans 12 and 1. It says, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service. Verse 2, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of the Most High. So you have to prove that. Prove your pastor, prove your leader, prove your shepherd, whoever you are sitting under, listening to, prove that man, prove him. You have to do it. This is your life, eternal life. Do not be deceived. Do not let no man out here in this world deceive you. And we know it can be done. Look at all these people in Waco, Texas. All those people that moved, that drunk that Kool-Aid. All those people that had those jumpsuits on, those spacesuits on, that died in those rooms, in those beds. Look at all these churches on every corner. Look at all the prosperity teaching. All these people that are being deceived. Prove those individuals that bring the word forth. I encourage you to do so. You have something?
Yeah, I was going to say something else. I was just thinking how I should say it, but I was just going to say that, you know, as a person that has been in a multitude of different religions, coming to this.
She says that a person been in multitude religions.
Yeah,
go ahead.
You know, I was raised Catholic. And then on my own as a young adult, I started to venture out because I'm like, this can't be, I'm not getting nothing from this.
Right.
Then I went to baptism.
Baptist.
Church, and then I did what's that? Christianity.
Christianity.
You know,
right. You was all over the place.
Well, I was, but that's because something kept tugging at my heart.
Right. As I showed you, it was something impelled inside of her to seek out the Most High Yahweh and His only begotten Son.
When I found about Christianity, I thought that was the one.
Most people do.
Because, you know, the way it makes you feel like, you know, you're at a home, you're welcomed, and everybody's so live together, the music and all this stuff. But really, it was not feeding my soul.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Right. You was just in the building.
I was just there.
Hearing them sing.
And not just that, but it was like other things. Like, you know, don't get me wrong, it was a stepping stone.
Right. That's what the stepping stones,
to where Yahweh wants you to be.
That's why I say start with the 66. That's your stepping stone. Go ahead. I'm listening, sister. Go ahead.
Because after a while, you'll get to start seeing flaws.
If you really listening to the word.
It doesn't mean that where you're at, you're there for a reason.
Because
the Most High needs to show you something. That don't mean that's where you stay.
Right.
Because if you would have stayed there, you wouldn't have come to the knowledge that you're a real Israelite and that you're praising Yahweh and Yahawashi. You would still be on that JC and that God. But once you have grown from that, which I have grown from that,
elevation,
you get a feeling in your body to where you know what I was in before, that Christianity, that's not right. Because when I heard about this, it resonated with me and it gave me goosebumps and it made me feel like I was special.
Woo, you gonna make me go here real quick.
I was part of something bigger that I knew I belonged in. So you gotta be careful, because I have been in something so long. It could be years you've been
in Christianity, right? Years.
You have to understand that was a stepping stone. Be careful not to fall back to your vomit.
Right.
That is
woo, look at her. Look at her. She said, oh, go back to that vomit. 2 Peter 2:20 for those who don't know where it's at. Go ahead.
That is a vomit.
Go ahead, sister.
You want to go back to what felt comfortable to you, where you thought you felt like, oh, I belong here.
Right.
Because when it comes to dealing with the Most High, like you say, there is no respect to person.
No respect to person. So don't go where you feel comfortable.
It's either this way or that. The Most High tell you you're not supposed to be where you're comfortable. Why? Because there's always a learning and growing experience that you need. So you will never be comfortable. And you may hear things that may bother you, but you have to understand that regardless of what it is that you're hearing, you got to discern it for yourself. Yes, other people may have used those things in the past to make you feel a certain type of way, but it's not what the Most High used it for.
All praise.
You cannot decipher the two to be together when they're intentionally made to be different. That is how you are held captive by your, by the Edomite.
Hey, you heard it here. I mean, she brought it out. She brought out a lot. So, I mean, that's on the table, She just said, hey, use those things where the Most High put you as stepping stones. Some people are in churches. Some people are in camps. Some people are in congregations. That don't mean you're going to necessarily stay there. Those are stepping stones. And once you elevate from that, once you learn that, hey, that church ain't preaching the truth, that pastor is not bringing the truth, you get what I mean? You leave from that church. You don't go and find another church, like she said, and return back to the same vomit. I showed you earlier in the scripture, when people say Lord, who are they calling on? I showed you. You go back and watch the lesson. This is not my words. This is what is written. So once you have been elevated and you come to that understanding and the Most High has revealed that to you to let you know, as I showed you today, then you can't go back to that same vomit because you understand it as vomit. And you don't want to be part of that prophecy that said that, that dog has returned back to his vomit. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to show you since I brought it out, and then we're going to close out. But for what she said real quick, everything that she said, we're going to go to Romans 8:15. Watch this. Everything that she said for those who was listening. For you have not received the recorded spirit of bondage again to fear, but you have received the spirit of adoption. Listen, you don't just say Lord no more. it says, once you have received the spirit of adoption, the rakah of adoption, you have been freed. Now we cry what? Abba, Father. Abba Nawa. And she also says something else in verse 16. When you were sitting in that church, when you were sitting in that congregation, something just wasn't sitting right with you. You know why? It says the Spirit itself bear witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High. The reason why you were sitting in that church and it just wasn't clicking, because they wasn't bringing forth truth. And as I told everybody that's on here that has this understanding, you are the chosen. You are the elect. You believe in the Most High and His only begotten Son, Hamashiach Yahushua. And you're only where what? The Spirit is bear witness that we are the children of the Most High. You want to know why? Because when you hear the truth, you know the truth. He said, my people, you shall know by their fruit, and my sheep hear my what? Voice. Now, what she said about the vomit, if you ain't never seen that in the Bible, I'm going to show you. We're going to go to 2 Peter chapter 2, and we're going to just go right to it. I'm not going to hold you. Man, whoo, it's so much here, man. I got to read it all. All praise be to the Most High. I'm just going to read it. 2 Peter 2 and 12. What is it talking about? I'm going to give you what it's going into. The rise of who? These false prophets, right? So that's what this title is. It's talking about the false prophets. I'm going to just go to verse 12, right? Verse 12, it said, but these unnatural brute beasts make to be taken and destroyed, speak evil of the things that they understand not. They up in the church on a Sunday, on the Shabbat day, preaching and talking about stuff that they don't understand and don't have no understanding about, and shall utterly perish in their own corruption, and shall receive the reward of unrighteousness, as they that count it pleasure to riot in the daytime, selling a pork plate after church. Huh? You're sinning in the daytime. The daytime is meant, is there not 12 hours in the day? That's John chapter 11 on down, verse 9 on down. Is there not 12 hours in the day? If any man walk in the day, he shall not stumble. It says spots and blemishes, sporting themselves with their own deceivings, while they feast with you, having eyes full of adultery, and that they cannot cease from sin, beguiling unstable what? Souls. This is why I tell you, prove those men that you are up under. Prove them. Make sure they are man of the Most High Yahawah and His only begotten Son, the one who shed His blood for you. Because Peter is letting you know there. Listen, I'm gonna go so cold with it. I'm gonna read it in the NLT. I'm gonna break it all the way down so can't nobody run. Right? I want it as plain as day. And then we're going to close out. 2 Peter 2 and 14. It says they commit adultery with their eyes, and their desire for sin is never satisfied. They lure unstable people into sin, and they are well trained in greed. They live under Elohim's curse. Elohim, however you say it. They live under his curse. They have wandered off the right road and followed the footsteps of who? Baal, the son of Peor, Satan, who loved to earn money by doing wrong. But Balaam was stopped from his mad course when his donkey rebuked him with a human voice. These people are useless as dried up springs are a mist blown away by the wind. They are doomed to the blackest darkness. Now, what if you sitting under a pastor like that? What if you sitting under a deacon like that? A bishop like that? Because these are false prophets, so these are men that have congregations, followings. And Peter is letting you know, do not follow these men. They are doomed. And yet they got congregations of 20,000 people. You can turn it on tomorrow morning. You'll see TDJs walking back and forth. Creflo O'Dollar, Fred Price, and many others. Go to the church on the corner Sunday from down the street from you. You will see them. Verse 18. They brag about themselves with empty, foolish boasting. Geno Jennings. With an appeal to twisted sexual desire, they lure back into sin those who have barely escaped from a lifestyle of deception. You just now coming out of that church, and they lure you right back in. Come on over here, brother. Come on over here, sister. Yeah, I'm glad you know you Israelites. Come on over here. Come on. And they put you right back into that deception. They promise freedom, but they themselves are slaves of sin and corruption. For you are a slave to whatever controls you. And when people escape from the wickedness of the world by the knowing of our Adon and Savior, YAHAWAH HaMashiach, and then get tangled up and enslaved by sin again, they are worse off than before. It would be better if they had never known the way of righteousness than to know it and then reject the command they were given to live a Kodash life. You read Leviticus 11:7 and say it's wrong to eat pork, swine, crab, shrimp, lobster. They reject it and go back to that church on Sunday and say they're going to do whatever they want to do because the pastor said it's okay, that it's done away with. 22. Here it is. This is what she was bringing out. The vomit. I want you to hear this. They proved the truth of this proverb. I'm going to highlight it. A dog returns to his vomit. Another says a washed pig returns to the mud. The Most High took you out of that church, cleaned you up, revealed the truth to you, let you know you was an Israelite, revealed the very word of his name and his only begotten son's name, and you won't even use it. You go right back to that camp. You go right back to that congregation. You go right back to that church. Why? Because you feel comfortable. That's vomit. It's right there on the screen. And I put it in a New Living Translation, so can't nobody run from it. Go back and read it for yourself. If you like King James, read it in the King James. Whatever's easier for you. But don't be the dog that returns to his own vomit, and don't be the pig that returns to the mud after you have been clean. And we know we have been cleansed with what? The blood of Hamashiach Yahushua. We know we've been cleansed with the blood. Sister Adriana says, Khan, 100%. I agree. Dorothy said, Khan. She also says Psalms 91. Let me get that. Psalms 91 and 14. Or did she write it? Let me pull it up on the screen anyway. Psalms 91. Let me pull that up real quick.
Yeah, she wrote it. Because he has set his love upon me, therefore will I deliver him.
What verse was it? Psalms 91 what?
14.
14. I just want to show it on the screen. There it is. Psalms 91 and 14. And it reads, because he has set his love upon me, therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high because he hath known my name. All praises be. And I read it earlier, Proverbs 30:4. If you know the name of the Father and you know the name of the Son, why are you calling on these things that they put in this word and put in this Bible that you know is English that's not really his name? Those are titles. You better start calling on his name. So the water for that.
She said we know his name. That was the rest of that.
Oh, okay. Khan. His name is a very big deal. That's what I would say, sister. I would totally agree with you. It's a very big deal. She also put Isaiah 52:6. Let me get that real quick before we get out of here. Isaiah 52 and verse 6. Isaiah chapter 52, verse 6. Therefore, my people shall know my name. Therefore they shall know in that day that I am he that doeth speak. Behold, it is I. And believe me, it ain't G-O-D. He has a name. That's a title. When you look into that, it just means power or powers. That's not a name. That's just a title. So all praises be to the Most High that the sister put that in there. And for those who have an ear to hear, you shall hear, you shall know his name. His name is Yahawah. Like I say, some brothers that use the vowel, they say Yahuwah or Yahweh. And his son's name is Yahweh Shai. Some other brothers that use the vowel system and the cool system, they say Yehoshua or Yahushua. But at least they on the right track. So all praises be to the Most High for that. And then Mayana Pasha, she get a prayer hands. All praises be to the Most High. Praising. And then the sister Dorothy, the last one, she says, I'll let you read that. Go ahead.
It's troubling that so many people won't take this seriously because this is very serious. Shake my head.
Yeah. The word is very serious because like Moses said, today I sit before you what? Life and death, good and evil. And he asked the people, choose life. That's what I asked you today. Everybody that's watched this, everybody that will watch this at a later time, watching it now, I ask you from the bottom of my heart, just as Moses did and all of the prophets in the Bible, all of the apostles, everybody, Hamashiach, the anointed one who shed his blood for you, hung on the tree, pierced on the side, blood and water came out. He asked you to what? Choose life. Listen to his word. Hearken to his commandment. That's what he asked of you, as I ask of you today. Brothers and sisters, I thank you so much, the water, for joining us. I hope that you were edified by this message, by this lesson through the Spirit, through the Holy Spirit, the Kodash Rakah. If you feel that it's edifying, please share it with someone so that they can be edified. May you enjoy the beautiful rest of your beautiful Shabbat day, right? Enjoy it, your rest day. Put your feet up, smile. He gave you life again. Just enjoy everything about it. And I pray that the ones that are here, that, hey, we endure to the end and we see each other on the other side in the kingdom. Tomorrow, I'll be live, 6 p.m. my time. I'm in the West Coast, 6 p.m. Huh? She says Pacific Standard Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Tomorrow, we'll be going into another lesson. So if you're able to join us, please join us. We always do lessons on the third day of the week, the fifth day of the week, the seventh day of the week, and the first day of the week. We prefer not to use those names, the days of the week names, because they are a pagan thing. You can go into it and research it for yourself, but those are pagan deities, okay? So we prefer not to use that. So we say seventh day, first day, third day, fifth day. The sister Dorothy, she says, the water for the class. I appreciate you tremendously, the water. Prove all things says facts. Hey, not to go over that so fast, I appreciate everyone that's in here because they say the word is dead. They say the word, nobody's preaching the truth. You can't find the truth. That's a lie. The truth is here. And we do preach the word. We do preach the truth. So I appreciate everybody that's in here and that may not be in here, but may hear this at a later time. I appreciate you. Let's give praises, honor to our Father and his only begotten Son. Prove all things said facts. The sister Adriana, she says the water for another edifying class. And then Sister Dorothy says day one. Tomorrow, day one, 6 p.m. Tune in. I want to play this video for y'all. Hopefully you like it. The link for the video is in the description box. If you like it, please share it. And it's a lot of information in the video. Hopefully you enjoy it. Until tomorrow, 6 p.m. my time, Pacific Standard Time. May y'all all have a beautiful rest of your day and enjoy your Shabbat day. And hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. She says, call her Law Yahawah. And then she says 9 p.m. Eastern time for her, right? Because she on the East Coast. So all praises. Anybody on the East Coast, it'll be 9 p.m. your time on the first day, which is tomorrow. Now, here's the video I want to show. Hopefully you enjoy it. And I'll see you tomorrow, 6 p.m. Let me share my screen. Here it is. Hopefully you enjoy it.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
Followed by what? Segregation, Jim Crow, black codes, bad education. Politics is another classic.
Grandpa, why does it feel like everything's against us?
Let me show you something.
They took crafty counsel against our people. Said, let's cut them off from being a nation. But the Most High see it all. We still here, and we rise and show. Psalm 83, they plotting on me. Enemies surround, but the angels see. They wanna break Judah, silence the sea. But we chose and we rise, we lead. Yeah. Psalm 83, they whisper deceit. Crafty counsel in the hidden streets. But the Most High got heat on repeat. Vengeance heals, Israel gon' heal. They made Confederate plans in silence. Hit them first up, blood on violence. Ishmaelites, Moab, Ammon, to all the nations round plot what to do. Try to erase our name, hide our face. Still our book, then switch our race. But the truth like thunder won't erase. Prophecy hitting at a militant pace. Some say keep not thy peace. Make the enemy cease. Let the wicked decrease. Like chaff before the breeze. They think they're kings, but they all just leaves. The throne of Jacob, we the real high priest. Tribe rise up, sound a shofar. Judah roll out from near and afar. Psalm 83, they plotting on me. Enemies surround, but the angels see. They wanna break Judah, silence the sea. But we chose and we rise, we lead. Yeah. Psalm 83, they whisper to see. Crafty counsel in the hidden streets. But the Most High got heat on repeat. Vengeance is Israel gon' eat. Oh, they came together one mind, one plan to wipe the children off the land. But the Most High don't sleep, don't slumber. He remember every act, every number. Esau fall like a crumble wall. Egypt fade when the plagues call. A surge join them, thinking they tall, but the righteous rise. We break that yoke off all. Let them be like stubble in a whirlwind. Flame of fire when the chariot spin. Make them know who the true God be. The Holy One of Jacob, the Elohim of peace. Psalm 83 ain't a song for fame. It's war for the name, power untamed. Israelites back proclaiming the claim. The saints stand tall, no shame. They said, come, let us cut them off. But the Most High wrote the last verse. We the sons of Zion, and we remember. Psalm 83, they plotting on me. Enemies surround, but the angels see. They wanna break Judah, silence the sea. But we chose and we rise, we lead. Yeah. Psalm 83, they whisper to see. Crafty counsel in the hidden streets. But the Most High got heat on repeat. Vengeance is Israel gon' eat. Yeah. Let them know you whose name alone is YAHAWAH, the Most High over all the earth. Psalm 80 forever. Judah rise.
That's why we got to stay watchful. JoJo, endure till the end.
Psalm 83.